All right, guys. Assalamualaikum. Good evening, everyone. So tonight we're gonna do a very highly anticipated battle royale, and tonight we're gonna cover this, not so important small little area called Mont Kiara, right? So it's the area that I quite like, right? I quite like. Apa tu? I stay here. Our office is here. So we quite like Mont Kiara. I'm a little bit biased, but I think our bias is because if the area can make money, we are biased towards money making. So not so much about whether we live ataupun we don't live there, right? So yeah, that's that. And I think today, you guys are gonna be quite surprised with what we have for you, right? The only thing is that I have something of a bad news for you guys. I don't know whether we're gonna do as long of a battle royale compared to the previous battle royale. So I'm hoping that I think we can wrap it within 2 jam. Alright, so I need slide pun tak banyak. But of course, unless for example me, Sean, Zairi, LB, and William semua dah cerita pasal benda mengarut and property gossip, then it will be longer lah. But other than that, from a slide point of view, I think it's gonna be our shortest punya slide. I'm hoping that we can do 2 hours lah, right? So see, dah kena kecap dah apa tu. I say this line every time, right? So yeah. Yeah. Kita berniat baik, right? Kita berniat baik. Tapi kalau tak jadi tu macam tu lah, nak buat macam mana kan. We have to cover. Look, every time we do it, we have to cover the full information. So no matter what, right? So kejap, lambat, we cover the full information and then after that we leave lah. Then we answer a lot of questions, right? So, macam biasa guys, I think we can go quickly straight to the presentation. All right, I'm going to do the introduction. I'm going to introduce the area a little bit, and then after that, the team is going to talk about the investment, and then after that, we're going to go to Battle Royale. Okay, boleh ya guys? All right. So guys, today we're going to talk about Mont Kiara. All right, we're going to talk about Mont Kiara. So I believe when you watch this Battle Royale, you will know exactly what to find, what to buy, what to avoid, which area to avoid in Mont Kiara, right? This is the whole purpose of why we do Battle Royale, right? Is to give you a guide. So some context, why are we doing this? As usual, want to use data to provide an independent guide for anyone looking to buy property in Mont Kiara. Okay. Number 2, want to put the full information so that you can understand the full POV, right? Or point of view. Number 3, we're hoping that after you watch this, hopefully 2 hours Battle Royale, right? Instead of 3 hours, it gives you a shortcut about what you need to know about this area, what property to buy, what property to avoid. Okay. Number 4, ultimately, you want to guide tenants and future buyers in Mont Kiara. Number 5, demonstrate how to use data, right, to help you avoid expensive mistake buying the wrong property in Mont Kiara. Last but not least, right, because we're quite honest in our sharing, there are going to be developers who are gonna not gonna very much like what we are about to share for obvious reasons, because it might mean that their project cannot be sold because it's overpriced. So we could end up being sued by property developers who might not like what we share tonight. Right? But it is the reason why we do Battle Royale Mont Kiara. Okay, and obviously this is our 4th or 5th Battle Royale already, right? We've covered Maluri, right? We've covered KLCC, we've covered Johor, we've covered what area? Somehow, right? Maluri, KLCC, Johor Bahru, Segambut, right? Segambut, right? So now this is our 5th one, right? And inshallah, our next Battle Royale will be covering another tier 1 area juga. So next slide, please. Okay, so what can you expect to learn today, right? Number 1, we're going to answer the question, is Mont Kiara the best performing tier 1 area, right, in KL in the last 10 years, right? Number 2, Mont Kiara versus TTDI, right? Which one is a better buy? Number 3, Mont Kiara versus KLCC, which one is a better buy, right? And then, is Mont Kiara the most livable area in tier 1, right? Why is it important to understand theory concept before you buy anything, right? Why Mont Kiara is a bit different to the point dual access makes a difference. MRT3 is going to come out in the area. Will it help the properties in Mont Kiara? So going to have answers for that, right? Then subsale and rental performance in Mont Kiara. What is the opportunities available today in Mont Kiara? And the Battle Royale, we're going to pit in total. Arte, Society, I don't know how to pronounce it, Society or Society, right? The Mint, Olivia, Pavilion Mont Kiara, and Born Estate. So in total, right, got 6 property, right, that we're going to pit tonight, right? Because it's part of, well, like I said lah, if you just look at Mont Kiara, tak cukup property, right? And I think I see people commenting already. You're right. Society is not part of Mont Kiara. It's more Desa Sri Hartamas. Same with Born is arguable still Mont Kiara, right? But because of the lack of properties available, new properties, we just decided to actually lump everything in. Okay, lump everything in. Okay, so this is what you can expect to basically learn today. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so this is the disclaimer for tonight, right? As usual, we're gonna define the border of Mont Kiara, right? And you might not like our definition, and that's fine. As usual, similar to how we did for KLCC and Segambut, right? Versus proper Dutamas. So a lot of people are very unhappy with our definition of what is proper Dutamas, what is proper KLCC, right? And that's fine. At the end of the day, like I said, we have certain decisions. We made certain decisions and we made certain exclusions. If you truly want to understand why, please go ahead and watch the previous Battle Royale because we already highlight why, right? So similar to that, even today, we're going to highlight why. Why this area is part of Mont Kiara, why this area is not part of Mont Kiara. Okay? So last but not least, you know, if you're an owner in Mont Kiara, and you bought properties in Mont Kiara or you bought properties in the pre-tender side of Mont Kiara, thinking it's Mont Kiara, and you are angry with the presentation tonight, I'm sorry, but we're not responsible on how you feel, right? The job is to present the data as it is as of today. Okay? Clear from a disclaimer point of view? So first and foremost, right? Mont Kiara is part of Tier 1, so I think it's just very important to really understand what the Tier 1 basically means, right? So these are basically guide and indicators of what makes Tier 1 a Tier 1 area. The first one, and which is the most important one, right, in my opinion, is rental value. Okay, so Mont Kiara is actually sandwiched, right, between a lot of nice and premium areas, right? So you got TTDI on one side, you got Bangsa on the other side, then you got Segambut on the other side, right? So it's covered by a lot of areas per se, right? And if you go past by the Pechala link all the way to Damansara Perdana, okay? So guys, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Is Taman Tun, if you look at this guide today, right? Is Taman Tun part of Tier 1 or Tier 2, guys? I want to test your knowledge. So this guide, right, for Tier 1, right? Rental above 5,000 is common. You got mixed nationalities, right? New launch is above 1,000 per square foot. All right, cool. So I see a lot of people answering, right? So guys, the reason why TTDI is not part of Tier 1 is actually rental value. The rental value of above 5,000 ringgit per month is not a common thing in TTDI. Is that a fair assessment, guys? Right? Rental above 5,000 per month for an apartment. Is it common in TTDI? 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, okay, common. But above 5,000, I believe as of today, TTDI, majority of the transaction, I would say 90% of the transaction is actually below 5,000. Okay, which is why TTDI, despite the property price, actually comparable, if not more expensive than Mont Kiara, right, is still part of Tier 2. Okay. Bangsa on the other side, right? is part of tier 1. Because why? Rental above 5,000 is very common. You got mixed nationalities. Above 1 million ringgit for a high rise is very common, right? Landed property 2 million ringgit and above, right? And new launches are all above 1,000 per square foot. Okay. So far, this is how we define tier 1. Not suka-suka, because I stay in Mont Kiara, I want to be known as a tier 1 guy, right? Then I go and say Mont Kiara tier 1, tier 3, tier 2, right? Doesn't work that way, right? So everything that we say, if we say it's tier 1, we have to justify, we have to prove it. So using this, right, as a guide and indicator, then Mont Kiara is truly part of tier 1, while TTDI isn't. Okay, Bangsa is part of tier 1 too, right? PJ, the other side, not really tier 1. Clear, guys? Right? On tier 1, guidelines and indicator. So, which is why, okay, in case you are wondering, right, in KL, which areas which is tier 1, we've actually highlighted this, right? So, the part of the OG or the old tier 1 would be Bangsa, Mont Kiara, Hartamas, Damansara Heights, KLCC, Bukit Bintang, KL Central, Mid Valley, Jalan Ampang, and Kenny Hills. So these are all part of the old tier 1 in KL. Now, in the last 10-15 years, there are new entries, right, of the tier 1 area, which is TRX as of today is part of tier 1. Bangsa South is also part of tier 1. Dutamas is part of tier 1. And Desa Park City is also part of tier 1. Okay, so these are the list of tier 1 areas in KL, both old and new. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so how we define the Mont Kiara area? Again, is separated by these 3 main roads. First is the Sprint Highway. Second is the Penchala Link. Third is basically Duke. So on both Sprint and Penchala, Mont Kiara is on the left, while for Duke, Mont Kiara is on the right. Right? So this is the definition area of Mont Kiara. So anything, right, that passes by, crosses this highway is no longer basically part of Mont Kiara. So if you look at it dekat atas tu, right, when you look at the top, on your top left of the screen, right, you see there's a lot of green. Those are basically part of the forest reserve, and these are mostly Malay reserve land in Mont Kiara. Okay, so which is why it's green lah. But the rest part of Mont Kiara, if you can see it, is actually quite high density, is actually quite highly populated. Okay, so this is the border for Mont Kiara. So anything above the Duke Highway, right? So for example, in Mont Kiara, there's this thing called Jalan Kiara 3, right? So Jalan Kiara 3 leads to Segambut, right? So obviously, kalau you tengok dekat atas tu, it's not called Segambut lah. They call it North Kiara now. Why? They are trying to borrow Mont Kiara, right? They're trying to borrow Mont Kiara, right? So therefore, anything above Duke, that Jalan Kiara 3, right, which is the contested punya area, anything above Duke, to me, is no longer Mont Kiara, right? Kalau Jalan Kiara 3 is long. It goes all the way to North Kiara or Segambut, right? The actual name of the place, right? So anything above Duke, to me, is already non-Mont Kiara, right? So Mont Kiara is such a good area that a lot of people wanting to borrow. It's like Damansara lah, guys. Right? It's like Damansara. Because the moment you put Kiara name, poop, property value go up by 20 or 30%. Okay? Which is why the developer are very clever lah. North Kiara lah, North Duta lah, Duta North lah. So nama kena best, guys. Right? Sepang tak best. So kena letak Cyber South. Dan tiba-tiba laku mahal sikit. So you see, even for example, Kepong now is now called Kiara Bay. So Bangsa South, Kerinci, now Bangsa South, right? So, you know, it's like nama kau Joya, and then bila kau dah besar, kau tukar nama kau jadi Joy. Gitu. Right? You know what I mean lah. So some names, it's not very fancy. It's not the best, right? And once you change name, right, then the perception of the area then becomes very different, right? So to me, this is the border of Mont Kiara. Again, you can disagree with me, not a problem, right? But this is how we define which part of this area is basically part of called Mont Kiara. Okay, so for those who are familiar with this area, right, this is Solaris Mont Kiara, and then you got Solaris Dutamas. Once you cross the bridge, it's no longer Mont Kiara, right? So similar to Jalan Kiara 3, the moment you cross Duke underpass is no longer part of Mont Kiara, similar to this, right? The moment you cross the bridge, right, after Solaris Mont Kiara, heading towards Dutamas Publica side, it's no longer part of Mont Kiara because it's already part of Dutamas. Okay, so these are all properties pretending to be Mont Kiara, right? So, you know, in the past, right, you've seen this property. All Arte, Ajal, Icon Mont Kiara is part of Dutamas. Okay, it's part of Dutamas. But like I said, Mont Kiara is such a desirable address that despite they are clearly in Dutamas, everyone is basically selling them as Mont Kiara. Alright, as Mont Kiara. Where you stay? Mont Kiara, bro. Ooh, best. Where you stay, bro? Dutamas. Mana tu? See? So, it matters, you see? So, everyone know where Mont Kiara is. Not everyone is aware where Dutamas is. So, you say Publica, then people will know lah. So basically, these are all pretenders. So, Concerto North Kiara, Anjali North Kiara is also basically part of Segabo, part of basically this new area called North Kiara. Right? So, like I said, again, not going to be a lot of people very happy with our presentation tonight, especially about RT or Ajal or Icon, right? We disagree with the idea of whereby they are actually part of Mont Kiara because it's Dutamas. But I think it was those days of 10 years ago when they launched this, and Dutamas isn't as grand compared to Mont Kiara. Today, I think Dutamas is similar, if not just slightly below Mont Kiara. So today, Dutamas is a little bit more well-known. So I think if they were to name this property today, I think they'll be happy to call it RT Dutamas or Ajal Dutamas or Icon Dutamas. But maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when they launched this property, Dutamas isn't, right? Isn't part of, you know, the cool area of Mont Kiara. Therefore, they use Mont Kiara, right, as a selling point. So you got also Concerto and Anjali. These are clearly the Segambut side, which is North Kiara. These are confirm bukan Mont Kiara lah, guys, right? It's not part of tier 1 anymore. These are already part of tier 2. Okay. So again, to illustrate, give you an example how to define Mont Kiara versus non-Mont Kiara. So don't know whether you guys are aware. Our so-called Istana Negara, right? Our Istana Negara is located, right, in between the belt of Hartamas, Dutamas, Damansara Heights, right? It's accessible by multiple locations, right? So even the king is nearby. So when you buy a property nearby Mont Kiara, in Mont Kiara, you can argue that your king is your neighbor, right? King is your neighbor. Okay, so you can claim lah, I duduk sama dengan Agong. Rumah kita berjiran, right? So you can claim that, right? Because you are so near, to the national punya palace lah, basically. So Mont Kiara today is one of the most livable tier 1 in Kuala Lumpur, largely because of availability of malls and commercials, right? Vibrant malls, vibrant commercials, and offices too. Right? And offices as well, right? So you got all these pubs, good eateries, a lot of cool coffee houses, right? There's already a couple of malls in Mont Kiara. You got the K163, you got One Mont Kiara, you got Hartamas Shopping Center, which is well in Hartamas juga, and then you got Publica, which is just 5 minutes away, right? So within Mont Kiara alone, you got 2 malls. You got Alcoris, which is not a mall, but a bit of a retail. Yeah. Oh, wow. Balloon come out, right? So and a lot of things, these things are basically walkable to condos. So which is why the expatriates like it. Okay. Which is why the expatriates actually quite like it. Right? So, and what makes Mont Kiara truly special, okay, is the next thing, which is, can you guys guess? Right? Kacau lah, dah tunjuk lah tadi. Okay, go. Next slide, right? So, what makes Mont Kiara, in my opinion, truly special from a tier 1 point of view is the availability of good international schools. Okay? So, the most famous international school, right, is called the MKIS or Mont Kiara International School. And the second most famous is Garden International School, right? And there are 2 other international schools, but they are not in Mont Kiara proper. They are in Segambut side, also got, right? And they've got basically 2 more. Lah. So within a 10-15 minutes drive, you have access to 4 international schools. And I think Mont Kiara, I don't know. I don't send my kids there, right? But I think Mont Kiara International School is the most expensive international school in the country, right? Anyone wants to guess how much does it cost to send your children for 1 year to join Mont Kiara International School? Actually, tak mahal sangat lah. It's quite affordable. Who can guess? So, dia tak mahal, guys. Murmur je. I think it's roughly about 100K a year. Alright? 100 to about 150K a year. Right? Murmur je. Per children, 1 child. Right? Gardens used to be 60 to 70,000, but I think people are now commenting in the comment section, 80,000 now. So I think Gardens price point has basically gone up with the renovation or whatnot, right? So this is the price to send your children to go to 1 school. Okay, guys? So 6 angka, 100,000, right? 100,000 a year to send to Mont Kiara International School. Gardens pula, roughly about 60 to 80,000, right? Ringgit per year per child. So you can say tempat orang kaya hantar anak pergi sekolah lah, right? So well, I'm obviously not rich enough because I don't send my kids to these 2 schools. I have a lot of friends who basically do send their kids especially to Garden, yeah, international school. Okay. So what makes Mont Kiara is unique, right? Let's say compared to KLCC, compared to Bangsa, right? Compared to, for example, Mid Valley area or KL Central or Bukit Bintang, right? Is the availability of good international schools. So which is why the expats love, okay, to stay in Mont Kiara, especially the ones with children. Okay. So husband might work in KLCC, Mid Valley, KL Central, all this area. Okay. Wife doesn't work. But if you stay in Jalan Kiara 1 or Mont Kiara primary main road, okay, you can walk to a bunch of malls. So you can go have coffee. You can fetch your kids to go to school. You can fetch them back from school. Just walking. Okay. And I'm not sure whether you guys are aware or not. If you are a parent, a lot of parents actually make where do they stay decision based on the children's school. Any parents out here tonight watching? Let me know if you agree with my statement. A lot of parents actually make decision in terms of where would we stay, right? Largely driven, one of the most important consideration actually by the children's school, right? Which is why good schools, whether international or national school, good schools, property around good schools, normally more expensive. right? So you can go to any area in Kuala Lumpur, Selangor, any good schools. If the school is like top 5, property around the area normally more expensive. Because people pay a premium, right? So school is very important. And if you're an expat and you have children and your children going to school, right? KLCC is very difficult. Bukit Bintang is very difficult. KL Central is horrible, right? KL Central is horrible. Your only 2 option is actually, if I'm talking about tier 1 KL, back then, Jalan Ampang or Mont Kiara, right? So today, Desa Park City also got international school. So now you get 1 more. Okay? So if I understand, I guess, what makes Mont Kiara unique was the fact that it has got access to a lot of good schools. So from a parent's point of view, it's very appealing. Especially if you stay in a nearby condo, you can walk and send your kids to go to school, and you can walk to fetch them back from school every day. And you can go to Coffee Bean, you can go Starbucks, all within walking distance. So it's a pretty complete ecosystem. Okay, Mont Kiara, which is why the expats love it here more than KLCC or Bukit Bintang. And later, when the team presents to you what is the rental rate and whatnot, okay, you'll be able to go and find out that the rental in Mont Kiara is very competitive compared to all of these other areas. Largely, again, driven by the availability of international schools. So now I'm going to hand over the floor to Zairi, right? I'm going to hand over the floor to Zairi and LB to present, right? And then after that, we're going to come back later for Battle Royale. So, Zairi, floor is yours.
All right. Assalamualaikum. Good evening, guys. Zairi here from research. Right. So now we're going to the booster part, which is the MRT3. Yeah, it is has been was one time it was mentioned that there's MRT3 in Mont Kiara, and then there's also a question whether MRT3 is it really needed in Mont Kiara, because the expats and those actually living in Mont Kiara, they actually have a car lah. They drive, so they don't really need the MRT to go anywhere. So they really drive. And there's one time also it was taken out from the map, but now today it was back in. So it was speculated MRT3 station should be in Jalan Kiara 4 behind the Arcoris. So there's one station there. There's also a station in Sihartamas. And
I thought they removed it, so they put it back in, is it?
they put it back in. So probably the intern yang buat kerja tu silap, and then that
Oh,
one
salah
night,
intern lagi. Such a convenient excuse.
the day after is back in. Just probably is a mistake. So yeah, I think it's quite a balanced opinion. Probably is also much needed in Mont Kiara, because the location is located near to the commercial offices of Mont Kiara lah. So probably can target those people. But otherwise, most majority are own stays. They don't really need MRT3. And MRT3 is going to complete in about 8 years' time. So it's something not really a booster for today. It's still sustaining without MRT3 lah. So not that like at the areas you really need public transportation or MRT to come in, then the area can hidup, right? So this area already lively as it is. Prices already at the tier 1 price. So yeah, MRT3 is good, but not really important for this area. Okay, so we have a news since last year. Since the 1H issues, right? They are disposing the assets, including land. You can see that Sunway is coming into Mont Kiara. They are already in Mont Kiara. Last time, right, we have Sunway Mont, Jalan Kiara 5. But now looks like they are coming in full gear lah. So they are buying the land in Desa Hatamas, the 5 acres land, and also the Kiara 163 mall. For them is a great buy lah, because they know the mall is about 90% plus occupancy. and they're buying it at about 200 million plus. So for them, it's a really great buy. They are looking at going in and develop Mont Kiara lah. So the 5 acres of land, there's also a bigger land there. They are also looking at the land. So yeah, it's also positive news. More and bigger developers are also coming in Mont Kiara lah.
I think one of the just to add a little bit, I think the fact Sunway is coming to take over a mall, I think it's quite significant because they are pretty seasoned mall operator, right? So I think Sunway is one of the best mall operators in the country. I think a lot of people are not aware that the 163 mall was actually valued about 350 million to 400 million, right? If not because of the out of desperation, right? This mall would have been worth quite a fair bit more, right? Compared to the 215 million. In fact, right now, I think as they are doing their own due diligence and they've got extension for another 3 more months, right? They are already reporting a 8-digit loss from a 1H side on this acquisition by Sunway REIT. So Sunway REIT seems to be making a very smart move of being able to, number one, buying a mall that really has got a 99% very occupancy rate, right?
Close to 100%. Yep.
Yeah, close to 100% occupancy rate. The mall is actually doing very, very well. On top of that, they actually bought a lot land in Desa Sri Hartamas, which actually earmarked for a bigger mall actually. But that's what happened. The guy with a lot of money take over properties from the people who don't have so much money. So that's basically what has happened. So there's a possibility that there's going to be even a bigger mall being built in Desa Sri Hartamas, right? So the lesson here, guys, in this corporate so-called battle, right? Make sure that you have enough dry powder to take advantage of certain opportunities. Then you can buy things like below market. Go ahead, Zari.
All right. Yep, totally agree. If I have the cash, I would buy. It's really a great deal, especially in this part of Mont Kiara. Okay, developers. We have plenty of developers developing Mont Kiara. It was Sunrise back in 1990s and bought over by UEM. So now it's UEM Sunrise. So these are the OGs the one that start to develop Mont Kiara, especially Jalan Kiara areas, Jalan Kiara 1. So these are the developers. Recently, there's Sunway. Ireka is also one of the developers that are developing Mont Kiara. They have Kami, they have Tiffany, Seni Mont Kiara, yeah, popular one. So few developments, Aizen, so quite a few developments of Ireka. So other than UM, Ireka is also there. 1AH, there are few developments such as the Oak, Mont Kiara. So WCT also they have 2 projects, pavilions, Pavilion Top, and the current one, the Pavilion Mont Kiara. Impiana is the one doing the Malay Reserve land. So most of it is landed, like in Serin, Mont Kiara, and also in the Sri Hartamas part. So all of it, as of today, this Malay Reserve is done by Impiana land. Asia Cares is doing the Kiara Mas area so the Jalan Kiara 7, the Kiara Mas parts of Mont Kiara. So they have been doing it since the early 2005 around that. So they came in quite early, as early as the UM. So Bukit Kiara is also part of the developments. They're doing a few developments in Mont Kiara. So plenty of developers doing Mont Kiara. So it's not like some areas only 1 or 2 developers are doing it. Like in Masal South, for example, or KL Central. So these are area where big developers are coming in and develop the Mont Kiara.
So I think to put perspective here, guys, we only include developer that has got minimum 2 developments in this area. Right? So in this area all the way to Hartamas, we include the developers who are playing in Mont Kiara Hartamas belt, right? So these are developers with minimum 2 development onwards, guys. So any developer, for example, with only 1 development, we didn't put there but there's only 1 property. in a way one land bank. So to us, it's not meaningful to be part of this, right? So yes, just to clarify.
Right. But and when I see the Bukit Kiara properties here, I've seen like it's quite similar to FACAP punya logo. I wonder why. Okay, so these are the list of properties in Mont Kiara. There are plenty you can see on the map. So it's evenly distributed, not only on certain areas. But what I can say, most of the developments is concentrated on this part of Mont Kiara, on the west side or on the left side. It's actually still Mont Kiara, but it haven't been developed because most of it is, part of it is quarter land, part of it is Malay Reserve. But if you can see, within the borders, most of the areas have been developed. So we have more than about 30 developments of Mont Kiara. Okay, LBC, sorry if I missed a few, probably yes, but I won't go through the developments. There are plenty of developments. For example, on Mont Kiara, with the name ada Mont Kiara, Sofia, Pelangi, Palma is all of the OGs one, the 1990 developments. Kiara Mas is the one on the left side. So Kiara Mas Cendana, Kiara Mas Ayuria, and yeah, there are few jalan, Jalan Kiara 4, Jalan Kiara 5, Jalan Kiara, which is the main, the one around near to the commercial, there. So that's Jalan Kiara. So that's where the central of Mont Kiara, I would say, the most vibrant area. And Jalan Kiara 4 is next to it. Next to Jalan Kiara 4 is Jalan Kiara 3, heading towards Segambut. So all of it is been developed. There are only a few parcels of land currently in Jalan Kiara 3 and also Jalan Kiara 5, which is on the left side of Jalan Kiara 3 juga lah. So yeah, so few squatters land waiting to be developed. But if you can see on the right side, from Jalan Kiara towards on the right side, I don't see many lands left, probably one or two, especially in Jalan Kiara, there are none land actually haven't been developed lah. Probably the Mont Kiara International School punya parking will be waiting for it to be developed lah. Otherwise, it's all fully developed. So yeah, Mont Kiara is a matured area. Developments are a lot as of today. Okay, next. Okay, so I'm going to touch on investment part. The 7 criteria, as you already aware of, probably on this part, I'm going to go through the transactions. So the transactions, I'm going to look into the medians and new versus old. So these are the 2 criteria that will determine whether you're buying at the right price or not. So Mont Kiara, usually the question is whether can you buy Mont Kiara or not, right? So everyone wants to buy Mont Kiara. It's always associated with success. T20, those make it in life, right? So other than the Sabak City, siapa yang buy Mont Kiara tu macam really make it in life lah. But the question is, betul ke Mont Kiara ni really that expensive as per what the people say lah. So yeah, I've checked the transactions from 2022 until 2024. There are 956 transactions. Okay, it's actually about triple than transactions of the SEC that we see last year and last week. So it's triple, so means that there's more demand in Mont Kiara properties compared to KLCC area. And here we see the price actually for new developments is not that high. The median is about 875,000. Most of the developments is transacted ranging around 500,000 to about 1.5 million, as you can see in the blue, right? That's for the new developments. Means that most of the developments of new is in relatively small in size. It's not as big as the old developments. That's why the price is about less than 1 million in median. The median of all about 2009 to 2018, which is slightly older. Okay, here you can see it's about 1.9 million. So these are the time where actually developers are really going in, develops developments which is luxury in spec, big sizes, 2,000 plus, 3,000 plus square feet, duplex, and also big sizes, penthouse. So these are the developments that you can see, like in Seri Mont Kiara, Pavilion, Mont Kiara 28. So Residency 22. So these are developments not that old, about 10 years old, but it's really luxury in size, and spec, unlike the very, very old ones, right? So that's why the price is about 1.9 mil in median. Okay, there are also developments a bit older, around this year as well, but it's located in Jalan Kiara 3, which is leading towards Gambut, right? Such as the Ceriaan, Casa Kiara. So these are developments about the same age, but because of the location is in Jalan Kiara 3, is transacted, as you can see in the orange here, right? It's still below 1 million. So it's few areas of developments. The one above 1 million, above 2 million is the one actually located in Jalan Kiara, and also located in Jalan Cangkat, Duta Kiara. So the one, the luxury big spec and big size development, all right? The median of all before 2009, okay, is only 800,000, quite similar to the median of new, but it's actually bigger in size. These are the OGs. That's what I mentioned, is the one located in Jalan Kiara. There are 2-3 areas, like first is Jalan Kiara and Jalan Kiara 1. These are the Mont Kiara Palma, Mont Kiara Pines, right? So not really big in size, 1,000 plus square feet, 3 bedrooms, but it's already 30 years old. There's also developments around 20 plus years old to 30 years old, but located in Jalan Kiara 3. Jalan Kiara 3, so that's why you can see there's the old ones, most of it is transacted below 1 million because for 1,000 plus square feet, but it's located in Kiara Mas area, and also Jalan Kiara 3 is part of it. But the one that is above 1 million to 2 million, that are the ones in sunrise developments. That's why I mentioned the Mont Kiara Pines, Palma, Pelangi, and all of that. So it's still well maintained. It's been slowly snatched up. It's quite a lot of demand. You can see above close to 150 transactions of these old developments in the prime Mont Kiara area, Jalan Kiara. All right. Looking at the price per square foot, okay, it doesn't actually in median. In median, it doesn't really reach 1,000 per square foot. That's what you can see in KLCC area or some other areas like Bangsa. So it's still in median is below 1,000 ringgit per square foot, even for the new ones. The new and small developments is around 1,000 to 1,200 per square foot, like the Oak Residence, but TWI, but most of it, the new ones, are still slightly below 1,000 ringgit per square foot. Okay. The slightly older ones are around 800 ringgit per square foot, because probably it's because of the high spec. Even though it's not really that small, you can see it is around 800 ringgit per square foot, but most of it is above 700 to 1,100 ringgit per square foot. There are some of these slightly older ones below 700 ringgit per square foot, but not as much. Right, for the new ones, also none is below 700 ringgit per square foot. Most of it, even the big ones, there are developments like Residency 22, Sunway Mont, 5 years old, right? But it's still above 700 ringgit per square foot. So it really shows that Mont Kiara is a tier 1 area. New developments, launching is above 1,000 ringgit per square foot, but 5 to 10 years old developments is above 700 to 800 ringgit per square foot. So the old ones before 2009 or pre-2000 developments, like the OG ones from Sunrise, is going around 600 ringgit per square foot. So that's why the median is about 580 ringgit per square foot. Okay, so that's overall about Mont Kiara. So we go deep into the area, the jalan. So this is, I divided into 5 areas throughout Mont Kiara. So this is the first area. This is Jalan Kiara 1, and Jalan Kiara 2. So technically this is the area where it is the center where they have a lot of commercials. The one that have the Kiara 163 Mall, one Mont Kiara, there are offices over there as well. So it has the highest transactions and is the most lively area in Mont Kiara. For 420 units transacted, means that is about 45% of transactions in these 3 jalan. Okay, and this area is also where you can see the transactions with above 1,000 ringgit per square foot, as you can see in the Oak Residence Kiara 163, about close to 1,100 ringgit per square foot. Arcoris, even though it's a bit older, around 8 years, but still 1,100 ringgit per square foot. And yeah, for the studio, is about 800 ringgit per square foot. And these are studio and 1 bedroom. You can't really see much of this size in Mont Kiara, except for this area, especially in Jalan Kiara. Okay, so most of the small sizes is located here. And as you can see, there's not many transactions of these small sizes. So even though people are buying for investment, they are also buying big sizes for investment. They don't go for small sizes, as you can see here. So there are some buying, yeah, but even for homestay in Malay, homestay is big sizes, right? You can see in the big 4 bedrooms and all. But for this investment, they're also buying and rent out to expat or with families. So it's most of the transactions, about 256 is 2 and 3 bedrooms. Majority is 3 bedrooms. And this, the ones, most of it is coming from the old developments, OGs, right? And it's about 700 plus thousand, all right, in average. The newer ones is going towards 1 million plus. And also this area, the 2 and 3 bedrooms is still around 1,000 to 1,500 square feet. It's not that huge. Even the 4 bedrooms, yeah, this is located, most of it is in Jalan Kiara 2. So these are where you can see the big sizes ones. But there are not many new developments with big sizes, right? So the new one is 28 Mont Kiara, 3,000 plus for 4 bedrooms and above. So it's about 2.5 million. So yeah, there are other areas which is having a bigger sizes, but these are is quite relatively quite good in size, even for own stay and for investment. So yeah, so strong demand for pre-2000, which is the OGs for Mont Kiara, Sofia, Palama and all, right? 121 transactions. So throughout the overall is about 15% of overall transactions of Mont Kiara. And it's still above 550 ringgit per square foot. So very old, 30 years old, still above 550 ringgit per square foot. Okay, next.
I think one key thing to highlight, guys. Why did we say Mont Kiara is a lot more livable compared to KLCC? By the way, who watched our KLCC Battle Royale? Anyone watch our KLCC Battle Royale? Right? If I recall correctly, the number of property transactions in KLCC in the last 2 years is less than 400 transactions. Right? The whole KLCC, less than 400 transactions. Just the OG part of Mont Kiara already have more than 400 transactions. Right? So in the whole area, if you count every other area of Mont Kiara, I think we've got close to about 1,000 property transactions in the last 2 years. That is basically, guys, 3 times more, yeah, almost 3 times more compared to KLCC. All right, that's how much desirable Mont Kiara is compared to KLCC and how much livable is Mont Kiara compared to KLCC. Continue, Zari.
Yep, and I believe the KLCC punya property is even more than Mont Kiara in volume, right? So, but transaction is more. Okay, now we go into the second area, which is Jalan Kiara 4 and 5. So Jalan Kiara 4 is parallel to Jalan Kiara 5 and also parallel to Jalan Kiara. So Jalan Kiara 4, you can actually access Jalan Kiara. So Jalan Kiara, there's a few malls and offices, right? So from Jalan Kiara 4, actually, you can actually access. So that's why most of the developments in Jalan Kiara 4, they have a dual access. So one access is Jalan Kiara 3. There's also access Jalan Kiara 4 because they wanted to have access that can actually go towards Jalan Kiara punya developments. So they can actually jack up the price. All right, so yeah, this area, Jalan Kiara 4, there are no studio or one bedroom units. Only in Kiara 5, which is the famous Verve Suites. That's the only developments in Jalan Kiara 5 with the small area, a small sizes development. But it's really in high demand, 17 transactions. And even though it's 10 years old, it's near to around 900 plus per square foot in terms of price. The reason is probably because of the size is quite nice for a small family or for couples. So Jalan Kiara 5 and this development Verve Suite is a mixed development, even though it's slightly located further from Jalan Kiara commercial area, right? But they also have their own small mall, which is the Verve Suite commercials. That's why it's really in high demand. Those in Jalan Kiara 5 will go shopping there, right? 2 and 3 bedrooms.
I think I can comment a little bit on Verve because I'm very familiar, as you can tell, Zairi. Despite being 10 years old, Verve has got one of the nicest facilities, I would say, anywhere in Kuala Lumpur. I think in the area of Mont Kiara, from a number of facilities point of view, right, Verve has got 4 swimming pools, okay? But not one. One development has got 4 swimming pools, got 2 rooftop pools, not one. Got 2 gyms, you know. So from a amenities point of view, it's actually quite there, it's very good. So even at 10 years old, you don't feel it's a 10-year-old development. Yeah, so which is why when you buy condos, whereby from a facilities point of view is competitive, and I would argue that a lot of newly completed property today, from a facility point of view, cannot compete with Verve. Right, couldn't compete with Verve. But although bear in mind the last block of Verve Suites back then, the block D, the one with the sky pool, sky beach pool, was actually selling for above 1,000 ringgit per square foot. Karen, Larry.
Yep. So yeah, that's what makes Verve Suite special. Because of facility as well. Right. And yeah, actually there's, if you see the studio and also the 2 bedrooms, Verve Suite, their total transactions is close to 40 transactions. All right. The bigger size is, however, it's not that big. With 4 bedrooms, you can see most of the units is around 1,000 plus per square feet in size. So it's not that huge, this part of Jalan Kiara 4, especially in Jalan Kiara 5. Jackson University 22 is one of the famous developments that are transacted for the big size 4 and 5 bedrooms, which is about close to 50 units transacted only for this development for the past 2 years. Right, so it's close to 1,000 ringgit per square foot. It's new. It's about 7 years old, but it's 1,000 ringgit per square foot. So this is the fact that it have a dual access, and also it can actually walk to Kiara 163 Mall and also all the offices. Right, so few developments here that actually have access to dual access, like Safina, Inspirasi, Malaysia 22. So few developments have this dual access to actually, because they are not located in Jalan Kiara, so they wanted to have the spillover effect and they enjoy the Jalan Kiara offerings, right? And also you can see here most of the new developments like Safina, Inspirasi, Residence Sami Mont is priced around 800 plus per square foot. So this part of not really prime Mont Kiara is about 800 plus per square foot for a new. Okay, so here we go, Jalan Kiara 3. So those wanted to stay in Mont Kiara or buy Mont Kiara, but can't really afford, right? So this is for you guys. Jalan Kiara 3. That's the reason why it's not that expensive as compared to the other parts of Mont Kiara, because it's leading towards the same road. It's leading towards Segambut Dalam. And there are few pockets of squatters' land, and the road is not as developed as the other parts of Mont Kiara. So the early parts of Jalan 3 is quite okay up until around slightly more than the Garden International School. But after that, they are start to have squatters and all lah. So actually, I've been to there's one masjid here, right? So one masjid here in Segambut Dalam. So actually the same road lah towards this Jalan Kiara 3, right? So for Salat Jumaat, and I've I doesn't feel like I'm actually in Malaysia lah, because most of it is foreigners, not expat, Indonesians, Bangladesh. Yeah, actually living in Segambut Dalam, and also some squatters area in Jalan Kiara 3. So that's a bit of story why.
Indonesian and Bangladeshis, correct?
Yeah, right.
Right. So they are foreigners, but they're not expatriates. Right, which is why, guys, Jalan Kiara 3, if you want to own a property in Mont Kiara, proper Mont Kiara, but you can't afford to pay anything above R1 million, right, to buy decent size units, go buy Jalan Kiara 3. So no one can argue you stay in Mont Kiara. It's still part of Mont Kiara. It's proper Mont Kiara, not pretender. But you must buy before Duke lah, guys. Right? Cuma the areas, first and foremost, not so nice. It's very jammed. Yeah, especially when there's after school hours lah. Sebab Garden International School pun pakai jalan yang sama. So it's very bad lah, jam. Pagi, petang, siang, malam pun jam. So it's the most jam punya tempat lah. Because you can go all the way to inside Segambut from there, right? Number two, what Zairi has pointed out is a different world of foreigner over there. When you go Jalan Kiara 1, you see a completely different set of foreigners. You see your Japanese, you've got your mainland China, you got Koreans, plenty of Koreans, you've got Caucasians, right? And then when you go to Jalan Kiara 3, it's a completely different set of foreigners, I guess. Right? So, which is why rental in Jalan Kiara 3 is very bad. Right? It's actually quite low. You can still rent a 2-bedroom, a 3-bedroom there for below 2005. You can't get it anywhere else in Mont Kiara. Very hard. Proper Mont Kiara, the other side of Mont Kiara. Number two, I think it's also the only area that I can think of today whereby many people who bought into this area or this road did not make money from their transaction. Right? So a lot of them paid 400 ringgit all the way to about 600 ringgit per square foot. I don't think a lot of them are actually able to go make money if you buy in Jalan Kiara 3. But Jalan Kiara 3 is a very different world, guys. Although it's proper Mont Kiara, it is still Mont Kiara, which is called Jalan Kiara 3, right? But it's a different animal compared to your Jalan Kiara 1 or Jalan Kiara 5. Okay, so be mindful. Because I think today we also discussing about the cheapest undercon property in Battle Royale tonight is also in Jalan Kiara 3. Now you know why lah, guys. It's the cheapest. Below 700 ringgit per square foot. You can buy already. Right? All the other under construction property, right? All the way to Hartamas, all the way to Datamas, cannot buy below 800-900 ringgit per square foot. Only in Jalan Kiara 3. So, if you are on a budget, you tak ada duit, but you want to stay in Mont Kiara, go buy Jalan Kiara 3. Nothing wrong with own stay there if you can stand the traffic, if you don't mind the neighbors. Bit dodgy, but you know, it's still Mont Kiara. Go ahead, Larry.
All right. So that's really tells a view about Jalan Kiara 3, yeah. So jaga-jaga, guys. You can see here also, most of those buying here is buying actually at the right price of around 600,000, because 123 transactions is for the 2 and 3 bedrooms. So they are not really paying, only 35 is paying above for the 4 bedroom and above. So big sizes, not really in high demand in this area because it's not really that luxury, right? So only 35 transactions of these large units. So, and it's slightly, some of it is slightly above 1 million only. So not many. So still a 4-bedroom, there are plenty below than 1 million. What I wanted to point out is also this new development, Trinity Pontamon. So this development is actually having a dual access, Kiara 5 and also Jalan Kiara 3 lah. So because of this Jalan Kiara 3 as well, the transaction is below 700 per square foot. So how can you make money when the new developments is selling transacted at below 700 per square foot? If the new developments, we can see later on, Mont Kiara, right? Mont Kiara, quite neighboring to this Pentamon, is also below 700 per square foot. So it goes as low as 372 per square foot and below 500 per square foot. Danang Kiara, Vista Kiara is two developments, quite old, pre-2000, right? But you can see Jalan Kiara pre-2000 is about 550 per square foot, right? So here, these two development is about 400 ringgit per square foot and below. So there's a big difference, about 40%, 30-40% difference in terms of the price for the very old OG developments. All right, so that's pretty much about Jalan Kiara 3. In median, for the 2 and 3 bedrooms, about 500, less than 500 per square foot. Same goes to the 4 bedroom, about 520 ringgit per square foot. Okay, now we go into I would say, one of the favorite locations. Jalan Duta Kiara is the one of the main road. So Jalan Kiara, then you sambung Jalan Duta Kiara towards Solaris. So it's the main road. Only that is a bit hilly, so steep. Jalan Cangkat Kiara is the one branch out from the Jalan Duta Kiara, going towards like Seni, Mont Kiara, Kiaraville, so Pavilion Hilltop. So all of that, I think this Jalan Cangkat Duta, you can see most of the transactions here. Pavilion Hilltop, Tiffany, Kiaraville, Pavilion, Seni, Mont Kiara, Kiaraville. So this actually counts about 70% of the total transactions in the area. And the demand is actually more on the 4 bedrooms and above, unlike the Jalan Kiara 3, right? So most of it is in small sizes, 3 bedrooms and smaller. But this one, because of these are actually meant for own stays and is really in a high spec. You guys really need to check it out. Seni Mont Kiara, Pavilion Hilltop, the facilities is really, really great. Like a resort, is really made for luxury. So that's why 4 bedrooms and above is more popular in this area. And the size can go as big as 3,000 plus square feet. So the 4 bedrooms. So there's only one development, which is TWY, which is small, but it's actually on the starting part of the Jalan Duta Kiara. So it's closer to Jalan Kiara actually. But this Jalan Cangkat Duta Kiara, most of the development is 3 bedrooms and above. So it's big size, meant for own stay. Price also is not that cheap, because if you see here, the Tiffany and Caraville, and as well as Seni, all of it is transacted. Pavilion Hilltop transacted 1,000. Seni is close to 800 ringgit per square foot. Other than that, it's about 700 ringgit per square foot in average lah. So for this area, so it's old but still high in price, even though the size is big. So that's why you can see it's about the 2 and 3 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms in median is about 2 million. So if you can afford Mont Kiara, probably you kalau you betul-betul can afford kan, so you might want to check this out lah, Cangkat Duta Kiara developments. So closer to Solaris Mont Kiara site, closer to Duta Mas, but it's a bit secluded and luxury. All right, so anything to add, Faizul?
I'm curious to see what Sean's POV here. I mean, of all the it's a pretty decent area. So, Sean, what's the thought? I mean, my favorite place in the whole of Mont Kiara for own stay is here.
But the jam here has also been terrible.
The jam is thanks to Arte lah.
You say one ah.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah, but I personally I don't prefer here. I personally because here to walk to Solaris, it's close but still far for me. Then United Bukit I like Jalan Kiara better. I actually like Jalan Kiara better than Jalan Kiara 1 and 2. You kind of have the best of both worlds in terms of commercial. Here, right, you want to fetch people, you want to fetch a kid to school, you need to drive one. I don't think tak mungkin you need to send your kid to Mont Kiara International School. Can lah. I think for expats they walk lah. For Malaysians, I think we also Bellfire lah. Yeah. So to me, I don't. I personally don't like this, but a lot of experts do. But it's mainly because of the size. Like what Zairi said, right? Anything above 2,000 is only mainly this stretch.
So my favorite place in the whole of Mont Kiara for own stay, right? So if I were to pick a favorite place, it's actually this condo called Seni Mont Kiara. Right? So if you look at it, Seni here has got bloody 56 transactions, man, in the last 2 to 3 years. So I mean Seni has got a couple of advantages. Private lift lobby, warm and hot pool, 24-hour gym, a bunch of units has got unblocked LCC view. Right, skyline. So I like Seni the most. A couple of billionaires also stay in Seni, right? Including the owner of the most valuable tech company in Malaysia. I mean, he owns multiple property but he also owns, I think, primary residence in Seni. Right? So very, very so like I say, it's why I like the most. Nearly bought it. Then I had my divorce, so I'm thinking, why do I need a 4-bedroom, 3,000 square foot condo all by myself, right? So I end up staying somewhere much more smaller as a bachelor pad, right? So yeah, Sydney is I'm surprised to see, despite it's the most expensive here, it also has got the highest number of transactions here. So Mont is really something else, guys, right? The average median of price point dekat Seni Mont Kiara is 2.6 million sahaja. And it has got the highest number of transactions, guys. So Mont Kiara is not a place you want to save money. All right. If you buy the best, the kind of people who are going to look at buying the best of you. Right. So Mont Kiara is really that place, right? So it'd be quite interesting. But you don't like this area. I take note. I think it's very inconvenient to go to school for sure. The jam, it's horrible thanks to artist project.
My question, right? Do you know how much they were launching back then, Sunny?
Yeah. I think it started from about, I think the lowest was about 550. And then towards the final block, the one with the unblocked view, I think it went all the way to about 800, 7 to 800 ringgit per square foot.
But at that time, was it expensive? At that time?
Very, very, very. It was the most premium condo, right? So it was considered very expensive.
That's why I thought like this I think this statement, this perspective, right? Last time 550 per square feet, 800 per square feet was crazy price already. But then like now, right? So then now just we are talking about Mont Kiara 3, it's still meh, but it's still higher price than what was considered luxury back then.
Yeah.
So just to let the audiences have a grasp of what timeline and how construction costs and land price all go up.
Yeah. So I think one of the main reason why Seni somehow has got a pickup in terms of the demand of transaction is when I look at it, I actually look at it during the peak of COVID. So 2020, 2021, for those who do not know, in 2020, 2021, thanks to COVID, all tier 1 property price suffer like crazy. So at that point of time, I could have bought Seni, for example, about 600 ringgit per square foot. Some units available, but even 550. Right? So it was a 10 years ago kind of like price point. I thought it was very high value for money. But I think the main reason why the number of transactions has picked up, number one, after almost 15 years, it is still one of the most top condos in Mont Kiara because the spec was very high. Right? So that's point number one. Point number two, I think it was very much helped by Pavilion's latest launch. Which is really after discount is about 1,200, 1,003. And it's already 80 to 90% sales.
Also something to take note, the experience of reviewing residents in Mont Kiara, the Verve just now you guys mentioned, right? So long already, the the maintenance is still about 75 to 82% after so long. Like but if you look into normal condos elsewhere, right? I think more than 8 years I cannot see it yet. You cannot live there already when the swimming pool and all. So I think a lot of condo buyers now, they worry, hey, how long do you want to hold a project? 12 years, like my strategy is to hold as long as possible. But their main concern is, hey, condo people all don't maintain properties because they haven't seen Mont Kiara once.
I would, my argument towards that would probably be, I think it's across the board, tier one, the mentality is the same. People pay maintenance fee. People maintain the property because they value high rise, even at premium. But this is only for tier one. Tier one mentality is very different. You go to, for example, like Sentul and whatever, right? So
Yes.
So I'm from Sentul, right? So
you can say, I cannot say.
right. So I can say it. I'm from Sentul. I'm from the hood, guys. I was from the hood, right? So maintenance is so fucked up that people don't pay maintenance fee, right? And therefore, for example, the building's quality then goes down. Senang cerita, guys. If you are looking to own property in tier 2, right? Tier 2, right? Make sure you buy something way above median, because then the mentality of the people buying is also different. They'll pay maintenance fee. So again, I'm not dissing anything in tier 2. I'm just saying you have to pay above median. If you buy below, right? So for example, like Mentari Court, right? So or Lagoon Perdana, location is fantastic, right? Location is fantastic. It's very hard to beat, but it's a cheap property. And the mentality of people who buy from a maintenance point of view is also not great lah, right? Which result in poor maintenance. And what happens when you have poor maintenance? Local guys who make a little bit of money don't want to stay there, and you start having foreigners, low budget foreigners coming to stay, and it all goes downhill from there. So if you are a foreigner today watching this video, don't go and suddenly go by again Sentul ke Kepong ke just because it's cheap. Not dissing this area, I'm just talking about the reality. Right. So if you look at Mont Kiara, 30-year-old condos are very well maintained. Like very, very well maintained, guys. Like very, very well maintained. Right. So for example, if you look at Hijauan Kiara, for example, whereby the OG of Mont Kiara family, right, which is the Sunrise, right? So for those who do not know, Mont Kiara used to be owned and developed by this developer called Sunrise Properties, right? So they were the first ones, right? So they started Mont Kiara as a supposedly a retirement home, retirement community, which is why they build expensive high-rise targeting the retirees. That was what Mont Kiara originally built for. Then we've got a couple of international school coming in, then very prestigious international school like MKIS, then Garden came in, then the profile of Mont Kiara suddenly changed. Then you have a lot of expats coming in. So then Mont Kiara suddenly became popular with expats. So 40 years ago, when it was the Sunrise family, right, the Tong family, who today, after they sold Sunrise to UEM, which is why it's called UEM Sunrise, guys, right? So it's called UEM Sunrise for a reason, right? So they sold it to UEM, right? So that was the history. So they started this thing called Bukit Kiara Properties. So Bukit Kiara Properties only developed 2 properties only in Mont Kiara. One is Verve Suites. The other one is Hijauan Kiara, right? So Hijauan, for example, has got a crazy maintenance fee, about 50 to 60 cents, I think, per square foot, if I'm not mistaken. But anything not right, they just replace. They are so full, right? The coffers of the maintenance is so high, right? To the point whereby anything which is not right, they just simply replace. They don't even fix it, right? So that's just the standard lah, required for Mont Kiara. The Tong family lives there in Hijauan Kiara. I see the elderly Tong. I see the son also quite regularly, and we had coffee a couple of times too. So very nice guys, very humble. But the level of maintenance in Mont Kiara and KLCC, I think, like I said, is quite on par. So if you're an expatriate or you're not a local person looking, please buy tier 1, right? For obvious reasons. Then you're not worried about the maintenance culture in Malaysia.
Question.
Cool.
After Twy, Mont Kiara is supposed to build the connection road from Tree to Duta Kiara. What's your take on it?
I'm not sure. The road doesn't look feasible.
I saw the drawings already. I saw the
Ah.
engineering drawings, everything, getting approvals already.
Yeah. Because I know the road has been planned for quite some time.
Yeah, nobody wants to build it.
Yeah. And I actually, had a look at Twy, right? As a place for own stay, which is why I decided to actually cross. So I actually walk over from Twy to actually cross all the way to Jalan Kiara 3 to this new world, right?
Yeah.
World. So I decided to walk, right? How the hell? Because there's like more than a meter height difference, right?
Height difference, yep.
So I don't know how would anyone do it, right?
It's not impossible. So the thing is this, I spoke to Bond's team Then they say the drawings are all done and things like that. And that's when Twy 2 launched the land next to it. After they confirm the connection can be done. So it changed the game for buyers of Alivia. Alivia is Jalan Kiara 4, private access in, where you got all the double parking So you go in, so it was private road which also have a double access to Jalan Kiara 3. But now suddenly they are not the only one when Inspirasi come out, and when that further connects in, suddenly you pay premium for nothing. Yeah, so that is the concern. But I don't know. Nobody has officially, even the forums that hate us a lot, also got no news. Yeah.
I mean, it's quite near, right? It shouldn't take so long for them to go and open this. But like I said, I was like, how do you match the difference, more than a meter kind of like height, right? From this road to this road. All right. So and the road is so narrow to the point, how right? I was wondering how. So if they got it approved, great Now it's a question that when can anyone build anything?
Yep.
Because they've been talking about it for almost 10 years.
And something cool for buyers who are thinking about Mont Kiara property also. The construction period usually takes way longer, about a year to 2 years longer, because they have a very, very strict restrictions on construction period time. You can start after 9, must finish before 6. If you go to any locations, you can still play about. You can start earlier, you can end later, you can do concreting in the middle of the night, it's fine. But in Mont Kiara, you cannot. It's very, very strict. So usually the buildings are 4 years, 5 years construction period.
Well, I suspect it's a common theme when you have a lot of VIPs and VVIPs staying. Right? So this one is probably something similar that you see in Bangsa or Damansara Heights or KLCC.
Yeah. So when you buy, you gotta think that, you gotta endure 5 years of uncertainty. So when are you gonna get your key? So that's part of the consideration when you buy. That's why I got the sub-sale one, which is instant. You get everything more certain. But another cool story is when I was reviewing Alivia. No, the Mint. So it was exclusive, so I got in because my friend works there. There was a couple who goes in and they fight with the salespeople because they want to drop a check for the Mint. Personally, the Mint is I like it. But I want to wait for it to complete first before I buy . So this couple has 15 Mont Kiara properties each. Husband got 15, wife got 15. And just now what you say, from hijauan days, buy until now. So no matter what they sell, they buy. So you have this group of buyers who are like Mont Kiara purists, I will call them. Their entire portfolio Mont Kiara. A very cool, also very cool story.
Yeah, I recall my mentor bought Kiara Mas Ayuria for about 300 ringgit, 320 ringgit per square
Oh
foot.
my god.
320, right? Then he ended up flipping it for I think 600 lah. So made almost 500,000 gain, one single property, less than 5 years.
Okay,
So, yeah.
question.
Yeah.
If you were to buy, okay, compare that purchase to any landed projects around PJ back then, which one would have performed better? I got no right reference because I don't have the data, right? But let's say if you like Ayuria that time really launch and you buy something in PJ, because Ayuria I think we think now it's cheap lah, but back then it's also expensive lah for an apartment. That time landed still cheap
Buran,
also.
right? 2008 before the Buran, so you make almost double.
But if you were to if you compare to a landed,
So it depends on your when exactly do you exit, right? So let's say, for example, you let's say you say a deadline of you buy in 2010, right? So between a nice condo in Mont Kiara versus a landed property, and you're looking to exit, let's say, for example, in 7 or 8 years, right? So I would say go for PJ. Right? Go for PJ. The only downside here is that the PJ one will be severely negative cash flow for a couple of years. So you make money purely from a capital gains point of view. Right? I would whack a landed property in Dutamas instead.
You don't own land everything, I say.
I'm too poor. So unfortunately, while those uncles are buying 15 properties, I was still in my tadika lah. So I had a disadvantage. I was born too late for Mont Kiara.
Speaking from you, I realize this common theme also all real estate investors all complain born too late.
Yeah, so I mean, for Mont Kiara, I'm born too late, right? So Mont Kiara, I'm born too late. So for some other areas, I'm probably not. I'm all right, like KL City Center. So but for Mont Kiara, I'm born too late between a landed in PJ versus landed in Dutamas, I whack the landed in Dutamas for sure. For obvious reason, because at its peak, right, you could bought a super link, right, opposite of Publica for about 1.4, 1.3, 1.4 million.
Well, that's a Tropica. The
I can't
Dutamas
remember.
Tropica.
Duta Tropica or Duta some Duta lah, right? So it's between the two Dutas, right, opposite of Publica, right? So there's only two. One is super link, and then the other one is a semi-D development, right? So the super link was about 1.4, 1.5, and Publica was dead at that point of time. Right? At the peak of it, rental was 20,000. And you can sell it for about 3.5 million. Right? So yeah, I would go for that, right? So again, guys, the tier 1 story is very different. Everything is not something you can imagine kalau you have never studied the tier 1 area. For a lot of people, it's incomprehensible for people to rent property at above 5,000 ringgit per month. Betul lah, guys? Does this make sense? For a lot of us, it doesn't make sense to rent above 5,000. Are you so high? Are you bodoh? Betul lah? Because you can buy mah. So it doesn't make sense, right? In tier 1 is common, which is why you see, for example, and the story of Sean, whereby husband got 15, wife got 15. That is not even the OG of Mont Kiara.
No.
It's not. Okay? My old condo, the guy who owns it, between the two developments of, my old condo, I don't want to mention where, they own 20 units, including 300 fucking car parks, bro. Can you imagine owning 300 car parks here? Right? That's a 50,000 per month cash flow. Right? That unit with the 200 car park went for auction.
Yeah, I saw.
Went for auction 4 years ago. I was like,
yeah.
my banker prepare my bank draft, Very quickly, I wanted to, bloody hell, tak sampai 2 minggu lah, it was withdrawn lah. Right? So it's like, you hear this crazy shit, people like literally like they are laundering money lah. Right? Like laundering money, right? So it's just crazy. So Mont Kiara, what is going to be shocking here is that you're going to see proof later. Guys, banglo murah je, asking rental je, banglo Mont Kiara. RM43,000 satu bulan, guys. Murah lah, guys. Banglo 43,000 per month.
Still go through the same jam.
Yeah. So welcome to tier 1. In tier 1, a 30 ringgit nasi lemak, so what? Right? I've seen a 40 or 50 ringgit nasi lemak.
Got kimchi one.
Yeah.
Wagyu.
No, got Wagyu is going to be 100.
But yeah.
30 ringgit
But
Wagyu.
for Zaimi, just to correct your terminologies a bit, right? The squatters area. So I made a video about those areas. Those are still owned by the natives, right? Still owned by all the boomies lah. But
Some of it, right?
when you call them squatters land, then I kind of termed them. I made a video about it. I made a video about it. So they showed me. I have pictures of it showing me 1952. Their Moyang bought the land for 500 ringgit. So when I say it was illegal, squatters whatsoever, they corrected me because my face was in that surau.
Depan Olivia.
Yeah. So my face, siapa mamak Cina ni, but in a way more bad language lah, right? Everybody get life death threat. Me, I have my emails, everything there. They thought that I was threatening them, calling their land illegal. No, I'm calling the squatters illegal. Because I go in, it's all construction people, all without license, right? Then they rent to all these construction companies. They just put their workers there, right? And it's very obvious. But just that it doesn't mean the land is illegal. The operations around the land activities is illegal. Yeah. So I just want to care for you, Zairi. Even though your face, your turn.
Probably that's the reason why. Probably that's the reason why they still, some developers cannot get the land, right? Because they have to deal one by one. Because it's the legal punya land. So like, for example,
I think dealing or not, because they are making money, They're making money, and then like for Malay reserve land, the exit strategy is very hard. Only pure Malay can buy.
Between the Safina and Inspirasi, there's a land, right? But still today, no developer can really get it.
No, the owner don't sell.
Yeah, so because it's a legal land, it's not squatters.
Yeah.
I would say it's not the owners don't want to sell. I think there's motivation from a lot of owners to sell. The question is that who will buy and develop it? Especially if it's Malay reserve, because majority of the players are non-Malays. There's only one basically Bumiputra developer, right, in the area that plays this, who understands this game, and he builds the most luxurious product that you can buy lah. Very high standard, right? Huh?
Yeah, because there's one pure landed property that is Bumi Malay reserve one.
Yeah.
But that one, the rental also crazy one, because tenants don't care whether it did Malay reserve or not.
Yeah, but I mean, if you buy it, it's about 8 million. We're gonna review it later, right? So for example, Mont Kiara, the bungalows that is renting for 43,000 today cost 7.5 million onwards to purchase. Right? Because I was also looking at that as part of a long-term stay lah. Again, prior to divorce, it was between Sydney and that, right? Right. And so I thought it was quite interesting. And like what you say correctly, if it's a landed property at 700 ringgit per square foot, it's still 30% cheaper compared to median. From a rental point of view, there's no discount. Malay reserve or non-Malay reserve, right? So there's an opportunity there.
I think we can go on a slide, we can talk whole day just like that.
Yeah. Let's go, Zairi.
Yeah, I remember the Serene during COVID, when we go check it out. But now no more unit lah. It's really crazy price. Yeah, so I'm gonna continue. Lupa dah dekat mana. Now you going to the fifth area lah. So Jalan Desa Kiara and Jalan Kiara 7. This is where the myth from UM location, which is Jalan Kiara 7. And this is also the location the bit furthest from the center of Mont Kiara, which is this. Most of the development here is developed by Asia Quest. So the name goes by Kiara Mas. So Kiara Mas Danai, Urea, Kiara Mas Cendana. So all Kiara Mas except for the Mint lah, which will be soon to currently developed by UAM, right? So all of it is developed more than 15 years ago, except Kiara Mas Danai lah, which is the latest one. They're going to have also Kiara Mas the Daun next to Cendana, if I'm mistaken. So it have been developed for a while, but now the area starts to become a bit hot again lah, after most of the area in Mont Kiara has been developed, right? So developers are looking at this area, especially the non-Malay reserve areas land that is still available this part of Mont Kiara. So I would say it's the most quiet side of Mont Kiara, and the transaction is not the most lah. So you can see only 64 transactions for the past 2 years plus. So compared to other areas, even the Jalan Kiara 3 is about 150 plus units transacted. So this is only 64 lah. So not really in high demand. Most of it is for on stay, I would say. So there are no small sizes. Most of it is 3 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms. Okay, and the size is around 1,006 to 2,000 plus square feet in average lah. So price per square foot is around 600 per square foot, or slightly lower for some older ones. Only Danai, if you can see, it actually reached 864 per square foot, and it's 11 transactions also, it's quite legit. So you can see the newer ones actually can reach 800 plus per square foot. The slightly older ones, which is Ayuria next to the Mint, right? So this one, most probably Ayuria is transacted sebab the Mint ada kot. So that's suddenly ada huge demand, 30 units transacted. So still above 650 per square foot. The price is closer to the price of the same developments in Jalan Kiara 5 lah. So not much difference this part of Mont Kiara and Jalan Kiara 5. So 500 plus per square foot for the old ones. Most of it goes towards 1 million onwards. So the newer ones is 2 million and closer to 900 per square foot. So yeah, a bit further, but it's still relatively quite high in price access. So these are the developments which I list down having a dual access. So you can see newer developments tend to have this dual access. So like Arcoris and Kiara 163. So because of this dual access, you can see the media per square foot is above 1,000. So actually, you can go Jalan Kiara 3, Jalan Kiara 4 and Jalan Kiara lah. So because of you have access to Jalan Kiara, that's why you can go 1,000 plus per square foot. But Jalan Kiara 4 is because it's good that because Jalan Kiara is always jammed, right? So to have an alternative access in Jalan Kiara 4 is good. Like Inspirasi, Residency 22, Residency Safina, and Casa Kiara. In these three, it have a 3 and 4. If you only have a Jalan Kiara 3 access, so you can't really see the price is around 800 ringgit per square foot. Usually, it will go down to around 600 per square foot. But because it has a dual entrance, Safina is the latest one that actually opens up the access in Jalan Kiara 4. So now the price is around 800 plus per square foot. So it's really a bonus to actually have this dual access. It's really important, especially in this Mont Kiara where there's a lot of developments. It's always jammed here and there, right? So having this extra access actually give you a premium lah. If you have the access towards Jalan Kiara, Jalan Kiara 4, and Jalan Kiara 5, these are the developers are looking at having this extra access to these 3 jalan. So like Pentamon, if it's only in Jalan Kiara 3, right, you cannot go 674 lah, probably is around 500 plus per square foot for the size lah. So yeah, because of this Jalan Kiara 5 access, it can actually have a higher price, so better premium for the property. So yeah, just to highlight this importance of dual access in Mont Kiara. So this development that actually have a dual access really have a extra benefit. Okay, so I think that's all from my side. I pass on to LB.
I think just to highlight a little bit, guys, I think Mont Kiara is the area whereby you can be connected to one of the worst road, which is Jalan Kiara 3, but the moment you have access to either Jalan Kiara 5 or Jalan Kiara 4, then suddenly your property becomes good. And what we realize here is that property with dual access has got better rentability, has also got better sub-sale performance and capital gain, right? But so far, this is only applicable for Mont Kiara. I've not seen any other areas that behave this way.
So I will continue from the presentation. So it will be on the rental yield part. So basically, I also did segregated according to Jalan, but of course, we have to go through new old and also the super old OGs in our Mont Kiara, right? Where our boss say he regretted his born late for Mont Kiara investment. But let's have a look on how's Mont Kiara performance so far for all the new old and super old development, right? So over here, we taken up until 2017 lah. So we have Pavilion Hilltop at 2017. So basically, we have known that Mont Kiara is family oriented. We have a lot of experts. Is a lot of walking. Is walkable pedestrian pathway for people to walk around. So basically, it's all big sizes in this area, but we have some small sizes. We have Oak, which is just behind 163 or above 163, and we have Verve Suite as well. So basically, these small sizes still perform quite well in this area. So out of all these, Oak is the one with the highest rental yield, and also one of the highest asking per square foot, and also transacted in among all these new one for investment purpose. Because basically for small sizes, mainly people use for investment. And other than that is like big sizes, we have Safina or Residency 22. All of this is more towards family oriented. But on average, for all new development in our Mont Kiara, the rental is about 5.24%. Asking per square foot today is close to 1,000. Rental per square foot is about 4 ringgit 20 cents. So Oak is the one with the highest rental per square foot, asking per square feet, and also rental yield performance in all new development in our whole Mont Kiara. So basically, Oak has something special because it's located at Jalan Kiara, and also dual access towards Jalan Kiara 4. And it has commercials. We have 163 over there, and it's just next towards Plaza Mont Kiara, or opposite to One Mont Kiara, where we also have mall and also offices. So this is why making it actually quite premium, and the rentability of it is very high in this area. So actually, I know, yeah, someone bought here also have given a quite good rental over here and rented it very fast. And even a 2-bedroom in Oak can actually fetch out to 7,000 today.
But one more advantage, Albi, that you didn't mention. On top of dual access to mall, right? And it's in Jalan Kiara. Is the one with the rooftop pool.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yes. Along the road is the one with the rooftop pool. Yes, can oversee. That's right. That's why a lot of people still rent it and go towards it. Okay, so this is O1 for a new one. So basically go to O1. O1 I take 2011 and above. So like I just said just now, the small one, performing one is when we have Verve Suite. The average of the Verve Suite on a total rental is about 5.35%. Making it to be stand out from all the old development in in this area. Even we have Arcoris. Arcoris is the one next to 163. It's still one of the top performance as well in the area. So if you're comparing to like 28 Mont Kiara, 1 Mont Kiara, you can look at their size. It's not really comparable. It's like 3,000 average. It's mostly towards those what we say family-oriented one. So basically for expert, right, they are willing to pay for this kind of premiums to stay over there. So Jalan Kiara is the main route in our Mont Kiara. So making it to be so-called the goal in this area. So everyone is actually like trying to buy this area or the one with dual access, because this is the main of, or what I call is like central of Mont Kiara. So basically for O1, the rental per square foot today is about 383 cents. Asking per square foot is close to 900. It's not far from the asking per square foot in the new one. It's about 1,000, right? So even the O1 is still able to catch up to 900. So they are performing quite well in, even the old property performing quite well in this area. So rental yield also above 5%, is 5.17. So we come to the OG in the area. We have a lot of OG in this area, up to 19 something one. Just wanted to highlight here, those with dual access like Casa Kiara, we have access towards Jalan Kiara 3 and 5. The rental yield is above 5, is 5.36%. It's one of the highest among all the performing ones. The other one is Kiara Designer Suites, where they have dual access as well. The rental yield is about 5.42%. Okay, so on summary of the super old development in this area, the rental per square foot is actually quite low. It's about 2.6 cent, 2 ringgit and 60 cents. Asking per square foot is about close to 700. Rental yield is about 5, so it's about 4.99%. It's quite still performing quite well comparing to the new one. So as a summary, I have come up with, not sure I can present in. Okay, so as a summary, we have gotten out into different roads. So with the one with dual access is Jalan Kiara 1 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 5. 1 and 4 is where you have the mall, offices, and also international schools. You have Mont Kiara International School at 4, and also 3 you have gardens, and so 5, which is dual accessible by 2 roads. So Changkat Kiara is where Serni Mont Kiara, Pavilion Hilltop, Pavilion Mont Kiara located. So basically, along all this road, I saw a Q&A where people asking, is location still matters in tier 1? I mean, the border of Mont Kiara is there. I mean, Mont Kiara, we couldn't say it's very big, especially comparing to like KLCC or somewhere else. But, you know, with this small Mont Kiara, this jalan actually have different asking per square foot, different rentability, also yield, depending on like whether it's like investment better or like family staying one, like family oriented one. But basically over here, the one with dual access sort of like having the best performance of like rental per square foot, asking per square foot, and also rental yield. So we can see the Jalan Kiara 1 and 4, which is the dual access, stand out from all of it lah, because this is the one with main, we have offices and more. Okay, so a part of that, Mont Kiara on average is like, according to road, the rental per square foot is 3.37 ringgit. Asking per square foot is about 800. Rental is about 5.09. It's still above rental, our on average of whole Mont Kiara is still above 5%, which I guess much of the people actually make quite good money over here, because comparing to tier 1, if like KLCC, the entry price is actually quite high. That's why costing the yield wouldn't be very good comparing to Mont Kiara, which I will show later on. Okay, so this is the summary of new old Mont Kiara versus road. So if average for new old and a super old, our rental per square foot is about 3.54 ringgit. Asking per square foot for whole Mont Kiara is about 830. Rental is 5% 14%. So if comparing to new and old, you can look at this Jalan Kiara. We have two comparison, like new one and also old one. Basically, the asking per square foot doesn't change much, but their rental per square foot has been increases, and also the rental yield is the one with the major increase comparing to all the other jalan in this whole area for new and old comparison. Okay, so for next one, we have when people talk about Mont Kiara, people talk about like living here, staying here. We have a walking pedestrian in this area. That's why we have a lot of new developments as building here is actually big sizes. It's almost more than 1,005 square feet. There's actually very few that's building like small sizes. We have actually like Oak, Wolf Swift, but basically all come with big sizes one. So I'm just wondering, when people say KLCC also got a lot of big size, right? Is KLCC big size performing? So, or not, or comparing to our big sizes in Mont Kiara, which is more livable. So basically on Mont Kiara, the average big size performance for rental per square foot is about 3 ringgit and 98 cents, close to 4. And rental is 5.04. About the transacted price is about 830. So basically, you can see this is their launch per square feet and also transacted per square feet. Most of it actually make quite good of money lah, okay, from their launches towards their transacted prices today. Okay, so this is the performance of big size unit. So when I talk about big size unit, where last 2 weeks we talked about KLCC, where we have a lot of big sizes in our Conley, Stoner areas, and some old KLCC come with big size. So how is KLCC's big size performing today comparing towards our Mont Kiara? So basically, I segregated according to different route, but in KLCC, some is come with super big size, right? So I only take consideration from 1,005 to 2,005 square feet. So you can see just now, our Mont Kiara rental per square foot is close to 4. Our KLCC is just 4.01. It's actually quite similar for you to like rent or for you to rent out your unit in KLCC and also Mont Kiara. It's actually most of them similar. However, the yield, our Mont Kiara actually performs better comparing to our KLCC. Okay, so this is above 5, but KLCC is still below 5. About asking per square foot today is about 1,000 for all those big sizes. Okay, but on average, rental per square foot of KLCC is about 4.7. Asking per square foot is about 1,002, and also rental is about 4.5%. Still, I would say comparing for both of this, Mont Kiara seems to be stand out more in terms of their rentability comparing to KLCC, where people look at it as a quite premium area. But of course, KLCC come with a very big size area. Why Mont Kiara today stand out for expert for living community? Because we have international school actually make changes to it, comparing towards KLCC's, which is not really that livable, because Mont Kiara, they have dedicated walking pedestrian way for people to walk all the way from, if you're from Solaris, you even can walk towards the main Jalan Kiara Road to 163. You have a dedicated walk pathway. So it's much walkable comparing to KLCC. So that's why making the rental yield in Mont Kiara performing far better than KLCC. So, okay, we have a lot of canvas or empty lands in Mont Kiara still that's not being developed. Actually, most of it is Malay reserve land. So talking about Malay reserve land, right? So he has specifications for you to purchase or for you to sell off. You have to sell off someone that is only for Malays lah, only for Bumi Putras. So we have Seri Mont Kiara, one of the Malay reserve property in Mont Kiara. Asking today is about 1,001 to 1,003 for a sort of like bungalow lah. So the rent for for you to rent a bungalow in serene Mont Kiara or Mont Kiara is actually close to half a thousand ringgit, half a thousand in this whole area. So for a whole big villa, it's about 43,000. For a small one, it's about 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom, about less than 3,000 square feet, is about 20,000 for you to rent. And there's only one we could actually see. But specifically, I wanted to highlight here is even this like Malay reserve land, asking today is about 1,001 to 1,003. But Mont Kiara non-Malay reserve transaction is about 830. So I would say we have still a lot of empty lands to be developed, right? Probably maybe Malay reserve land one day actually will be like will be a lot of developer will start developing over the area. Maybe we have more people wanted to buy this Malay reserve land property, which we put it on a question mark first, because at today's price point is even asking more or higher than the non-Malay reserve transacted in this Mont Kiara area.
I think
Okay.
the key observation for me, LB, on the reason why this is happening is because there's just zero new supply of landed property in the whole of Mont Kiara. There's
That's
no
true.
land whatsoever that you can use to go and develop a non-Malay reserve landed property in Mont Kiara. That's point number one. Point number two, in the last 10 years, even all the way to Dutamas, all the way to Hartamas, there is no new landed property that was completed. So this was the only one. So I'm surprised to see it's asking above 1,000 ringgit per square foot for a Malay reserve. But then again, when majority of the people buy it for own stay, and you have only 1 or less than 5 units available either for sale or for rent, you come to a situation whereby there's just decent demand but very limited supply, which is causing the price to spike at this level. Yeah,
That's true. So most of the Mont Kiara you go into is like all high rise, like left and right is all high rise. Yeah. So maybe this could be one of the reason as well. Okay. So that's all from the rental yield part. So we have come towards our Battle Royale of Mont Kiara. If you were about to buy Mont Kiara today, what are in the markets for those under constructions? So we have the first one is our Arte Solaris for Jalan Duta Kiara. Number of units is about 600. But I wanted to highlight here, most of the Mont Kiara is actually freehold, but this Arte Solaris is actually a leasehold. And just now I mentioned, right, a small size of it seems to be doable in this family-oriented area and performing quite well as well. So Arte also come up with very small units. We have 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom. It's about 477 square feet up to 861 square feet. So they also have 2 to 3 bedroom duplexes lah. It's for cater towards those family oriented who wanted to big sizes, right? So the net per square foot for Arte Solar is about 1,000 today, if you were about to buy lah. So actually Societe is actually completed lah, which actually fall under Sri Hartama's site. I wanted to take in this comparison because looking towards their small sizes launches, which actually will reflect towards Oak or Aquaris, where they also have small sizes today. But if you wanted to buy Societe, even if Sri Hartamas, their net per square foot is about 1,000 to 1,001 today for you to buy. So it seems like small sizes are also actually asking above like 1,000, 1,001 because people are actually may wanted to own something over this area, but not at a very high absolute price point of view. Because some area you can own it maybe at 800, but the size is actually very big. Then it will be million already. Okay, so this is why I taken this in our comparison today. So the next one is Pavilion Mont Kiara. We have 2 active name over here. One is Pavilion, one is Mont Kiara, making it okay. Selling today is about 1,000 to 1,001 as well. Actually fall under Changkat Duta Kiara, where you have Serni Mont Kiara, Pavilion Hilltop area. It's a freehold, and the completion is about 2027. So for this area, like Sunny, everything offering in this area is actually big sizes, premium one. So even the smallest layout is actually 2 bedroom, it's 1,000 square feet. Then you have a penthouse or even villa in this pavilion Mont Kiara. So the next one is Alivia at Jalan Kiara 4. It's actually more towards the end of Jalan Kiara 4. So it's also still a freehold. Something to highlight here is about the net is about 770 to 800 if you were about to buy Alivia today, which Sean just now shared about. Like last time they talked about Alivia, we'll have the premium of the private access, but today we have more settlements coming over Kiara 4 and also Kiara 3, making it to be no longer premiums anymore. Okay, so the next one is the Min, which actually fall at Jalan Kiara 7, which is at the area of Desa Kiara, towards those Kiara Mas area, which is actually not close towards the center of our Mont Kiara, which is Jalan Kiara anymore. So for you, it's not like you can walk from Jalan Kiara 7 towards Jalan Kiara. You have to drive because it's a bit further already comparing to the center of Mont Kiara. So even it's a bit further, but today if we're about to buy, so it's also similar, it's about 800. Just now Zari also did share about Jalan Kiara 7. We have few transactor like Ayura is also close to 700 per square foot today. So they're actually launching a similar price point. So we have Mont Kiara, which I guess everyone is actually asking, is this fall under Mont Kiara or this is Segambut Dalam or North Kiara area, where people is like questioning which actual address it is, because you know you was actually near to the Segambut Dalam mosque, right? So people is wondering, is this Mont Kiara or North Kiara? So when we are talking about just now about the prices, right, the launches prices, why Jalan Kiara 3 might not be able to stand out like the transacted prices, I would say actually maybe mostly due towards their surrounding and also their access route. But like Sean and also Boss this share just now about the access route, if they were about to open the access route to connect Jalan Kiara 3 towards our Dutamas area, or even the small inner route towards Jalan Kiara 4, it might be a game changers for Jalan Kiara 3 area today. So if you're about to buy, this will be one of the cheapest in the Kiara 3 area. So it's about 580 to 630 per square foot today. But the transacted price you guys can see just now is also about that range. Comparing to those main area, you can even transact about above 1,000 today. Okay, so please like maybe be mindful, maybe in this whole Mont Kiara area, you have different access, different road. It might come with different rentability and also different asking price as well. Even though it still fall about like in tier 1 area, but still in this specifically Mont Kiara dual access system, different jalan come with different rentability and also investment rate lah. Okay, so we have Kiara Mas the down as well. Actually, towards the Kiara Mas area is Jalan Desa Kiara towards Jalan Kiara 7, that area. Okay, it's also asking about 750 per square foot today. So out of all of this, it's only Ate Solaris actually leasehold. Most of it is actually freehold and come with big sizes, up to duplexes, more than 2,000 or even 3,000 square feet today. We can still say that most of it in the area, even though come with like big sizes, cater for family-oriented product or even own stay product, but they still able to fetch a quite good yield in a conclusion lah, comparing to other tier 1's area. This is the finding that we found about like Mont Kiara, the special of this most livable tier 1 area. That's for my concept. I feel that Mont Kiara is the most livable tier 1 area. The connectivities towards commercials and also educations were still livable, okay, for those people to live around here. And for, yeah, it's actually very popular for experts lah. We have a lot of Korean, Japanese, and also Chinese in this area as well. So actually, I will bring out all the panelists today to maybe discuss about what do you think about all this development in this Mont Kiara that's under constructions. What do you think that it may be a game changers or something to highlight over this area? Maybe comparing to just now you say you like Jalan Kiara, but I mean it's Kiara 7 already or
Yeah, but I didn't say for what purpose, ma. Yeah. So, but because if you, I went to whatever that you said, I think I visited almost all of them also again. But it's when you go to big units, right? I think one thing to highlight, which is not here, unfortunately, that one a bit more architectural based. But when you all category super old and new projects, the layouts also are very different. Yeah, so the internal layouts, last time one you can see all pretty dark one. Then like now, if you can see, they use a little bit more mechanical ventilation. They can do orientation a little bit better. The layouts are superb lah. And the bad thing about Malaysian's building is we cannot hack. So it's not as flexible. That's why even sub-sales is not as great for all the old ones lah. Yeah. But personally, I'm a huge fan of the meat. But I want to wait 5 years only because I want to book 5 years only they complete. So I don't want to
how
waste
the product actually is.
Okay,
Before
so
to go, is it?
I can wait.
I think we need to do two comparison. One is a small unit comparison, and then the other one is a large unit comparison, right? Because otherwise it's not apple to apple.
Correct.
So I think the small unit you only got two, which is Society and Arte.
Okay.
So LB, you go first. Society versus Arte, why?
I will actually choose Arte because it still fall under Mont Kiara. It's actually there's like Sri Hartamas and Mont Kiara actually just neighboring. Actually their prices is quite similar, but I choose Arte is reason because I went Solaris many times lah for makan. So it's quite convenient for me lah. And still okay, but I know it's very jam because every time I wanted to go to there, I have to start in the jam maybe like 50 minutes to 20 minutes just for that very small distance. Well, we'll see how actually the jam in the area after this is completed, whether will be resolved. If it's not being resolved, then I might choose. Actually, Society also very jam. The road also very narrow. Both of the area actually jam. But okay, then I will choose Arte lah because of the design. I quite like it and the location of it lah towards Solaris. That I choose it.
I always have this debate though, like for Arte's approach to kind of very extravagant kind of approach, right? I'm very surprised that you said you like it. I've been looking for you.
Because last time it's like family oriented, but comparing Societe and also small sizes in terms of like investment kind of feel, I feel like okay, if I choose this one, then maybe the rentability of it might be higher comparing to Societe. That's why I choose for investment purpose, but own stay takkan. It doesn't fall in my own stay criteria. Yeah.
What about you, Zairi?
Okay. Yeah, if you were to compare these two developments, it's a bit tough lah.
Hey, by the way, can we change the slides to reflect the property we're discussing? Okay.
Right. So looks like the Arte Solaris macam majestic kan nampak. But I believe the end product will look ugly. For me, it will look ugly lah. I don't like this kind of things.
Wow, ugly is a harsh word, bro.
Too fancy.
I'll be disappointed.
For me, opinion, right? So, yeah, I don't really have that confidence in Arte development. Location is better, I think, in Hartamas compared to Hartamas. Rentability probably better, but most of the development, the area of Arte Solaris ni, it's big sizes lah, so probably you complement. But I don't really have the confidence in Arte lah, that's the thing. So I've been to Society. It's completed, it's nice. The view is nice from the Mont Kiara video, right? So very nice. Investment wise, probably I choose Society lah, but yeah.
Good. 1-1 now. William.
Okay, I check out both, right? I personally like, actually it's pronounced Societe lah. Right? My sister working with this developer at CP, right? So she's from the operation team. So actually it's pronounced Societe in French,
Societe.
right? Which means society. Okay, so for those who don't know, right, actually Societe is interesting in terms of the furnishing. So it comes with a fully furnished thing that costs about 150 ringgit per square feet. Right? That's really quite good quality lah, basically, if you check out the furnishings. So I really like that. Plus it's I would say, I mean, I look at Arte Solaris also. I checked their floor plan. It's rather peculiar. Like, it's not as the common conventional type of floor plan, right? And you need some kind of renovation to really make it livable, I would say. So as a Gen Z other than LB here, right? I prefer a standard kind of a layout in this, which I choose. Yeah, squarish kind of a studio unit at Societe, right? Both are walkable to all the groceries, eateries. But I actually, right, because I live nearby there, right? So sometimes I agree with LB's part, whereby I sometimes walk faster than the cars, right? When I go to Hatamas to, eat, right? So I walk faster than car most of the times, right? But actually for Arte Solaris side, yeah, actually the road is not as good, I would say, compared to Sri Hatamas side, because I used to walk around the whole Mont Kiara area, from 163 to Paprika, from all the way back to Hatamas area. So I would say the walking pathway at Arte Solaris, I don't really, I mean, I think it's not as good as Hatamas side for me. So yeah, Societe for me. Next, Faizul, Ihan.
2-1.
Okay, a few concerns. One is I'm thinking from a developer's point of view, because just now a bit flunk. Okay, I think if I want to include Airbnb returns as well, I would choose RT. That whether ugly or not, right? That one is personal perception, and that one driving and check up, bukan I. But I think in terms of Airbnb performance based on the Solaris, Mont Kiara's entertainment and Paprika, and the upcoming Duta Mas area that's going to bring up this RT, I would choose RT, because Society, I think there is a very different crowd altogether. So I think I will pick RT just because it has one more format of rental option.
My take would be I will go for RT. All right, I will go for RT. And the reason here is I think if you compare, because my goal has always been, if you are looking to buy small units to make money, right, and you want to maximize your return, right? So there's a couple of things, right? That side of Mont Kiara has outperformed Hartama's side when it comes to property in the last 10 years, right? So pretty proven. If you look at Sunway, Vivaldi, right? Price hasn't really moved up, right? If you were to compare to your Senis of the world, MK10, MK11, right? Larger size unit in Ayuria and all of that. So they've been rather poor performers. That side. Number two here is that while I think the Society product is of better spec, potentially better value, I think the size is too luxurious. It's too big for you to actually yield anything decent at about 1,000 ringgit per square foot. Right? So for that reason, I go for RT. because I believe that location is better, right? At least from my personal preference point of view. I quite like the location. That location is also proven when it comes to making money lah. From Tiffany to Kiaraville to Seni, right? You name it lah, right? So and the fact that it's also walkable to Solaris, Mont Kiara, which is very popular destination, right? And also walkable to Publica also helps lah. Obviously, it's a different story if Sunway Mall were to be built walkable to society. But as of today, if I were to put my money, I wouldn't buy either. But if I'm forced to buy one, then I'd probably go for RT. And Sean, you are correct. I think from an Airbnb point of view or short-term stay, that one probably
Fabulous.
bit more better appeal compared to Society. Right? Even though the name is better lah, right?
Tak tahu, no one knows it's French, so.
Yeah. So it'll be very different if Society has got a rooftop pool. Then it becomes a very even fight. But it doesn't, so you know.
But William, is it true that the Societe was built as a hotel first?
Yeah.
It's true. It's confirmed
Yeah.
true. They had a signage of the hotel apartment operator. I think if I recall correctly, it's a Somerset.
Somerset.
Yeah, Costa, Somerset Hotel.
Yeah.
But they changed.
It was built for Somerset spec. So it's not Ascot, but it is at least Somerset lah. So it's not too bad. Right?
Then why they want to asing sell cash flow?
No, because I think they look, it was COVID lah, basically. Right? So COVID happened, and for whatever reason that didn't happen. The signage was there, you know.
Yeah.
Right? The signage of that operator was already there. And then they had to replace it lah. So obviously because of COVID, people are worried about the rental demand in tier 1. Right? So this is a pretty similar, identical situation with one of our deals in PJ, whereby that property was built to Ascot spec, you see, marble flooring and whatnot. And it was supposed to be sold at 900 ringgit per square foot next to Paradigm Mall. So when the whole deal collapsed, no choice that we end up buying at 550 ringgit per square foot. Right? So except for SCP, which we have been talking to them on a yearly basis, asking them to lower this to about 800 ringgit per square foot, and they're not biting it because, well, they are rich, you know. That happens when you are one of the largest car park operators in the country. Too rich. So not desperate, no fire sale, no nothing. Right? So the other developer, which is a public listed co, a bit more motivated, right, to go and do a deal. So 900 became 550. So we whack and buy lah. Right? Right? So that was the story lah. For, you know, it's a bit unfortunate lah, thanks to COVID. This has happened. But like I said, if Sunway end up building that mall in Hartamas, hey, Hartamas might be cool again, no? But the traffic is not going to get any better, guys.
But they change it one way, I think they're doing a lot of things.
Yeah. Right? If it were to happen, then the traffic will be even more worse than today. That's for sure. Okay,
yeah, a bit off tangent a bit. I think we got the answer already, right? Which one, if people are thinking to buy. But my question is then, like, for Hartamas area connecting to Publica on the inner road via the immigration office, there's also a mall, right? With the buildings also, I think also very canggih name, but their unit always auction. You're like, well, why does that happen? Like, Vivaldi, all the way there will be the landed townhouses, all the way straight. Then you need to go up the hill before the immigration office. You got the Duta Tropica. Then there's one building, the commercial office building. There's a mall there. I forgot what's the name really. Yeah.
Dorset.
Dorset. Yeah. Yeah. Why that area then? This is something I don't understand until today. Why that site doesn't do as well?
I think it's the commercial vibrancy.
yeah lah, I like that is the pintu depan istana lah.
Yeah.
Uh,
So if I were to guess, right, and why that side of Hartamas is a bit more sleepy, it's largely because it's being used largely by older retirees who are not the most exciting, right? So, for example, if you go to Solaris, you go to Kiara 163, you go to Publica, the turnover of the tenant and the retail is very vibrant. So I don't know if it's good or bad, right? But it's just vibrant lah. There's if the business doesn't make it, then someone else is gonna come and take over, right? So, for example, right, if you want to know what is the primary nationality that is moving into the area, just look at what kind of restaurant being open. So in the last 3 years, how many hot pot shops has been opened in Mont Kiara? Like a lot lah, right? So initially it was Japanese restaurants, right? Then you got Korean barbecues and everything Korean. So today it's all now Chinese lala hot pot, right? And I can't eat any of them because all non-halal. So it's quite terrible, right? But if you look at Hatama Shopping Center, nothing moves, right? Nothing moves. So it's really sleepy. It's just like that, nothing too exciting ever happened in that area, right? So yeah.
Yeah, because I was shopping around it and looked at, why this part of development nobody talks about it? Ini tier 1 ke tier 2 in between. Yeah. just yeah.
Yeah, actually it's quite strange. I got one uncle, right, who owned, I think, 2 shop lots in Plaza Damas. I think it's opposite Starbucks, right? He actually increased the rental by, I think, from 6K to 9K, right, in just 1 year time. And the tenant immediately accepted, like, okay, because his intention actually is to halal away the tenant. But he unexpectedly, the tenant said, okay, right away. I think he's doing a Japanese restaurant. So just this year, actually. So unexpectedly, like, wow, the business is quite good, actually. They can accept that 9K rental for ground floor near rental.
Of course, if you think about it, ground floor rental 9K, this area very cheap lah. It's still very cheap.
But it's really old. The mall itself, I check out, like, Plaza Damas, right? Inside, I go around, like, wow, quite not like Paprika 163 lah. I'm not old enough lah, but yeah, I think you guys
now action now. Not old.
Yeah, don't understand like, wow, why can get that rental?
No. I think we can conclude now. Whoever pick RT is the young guys.
Society.
Okay, I pick RT.
Right. So anyone that picks society is it's a bit older in the head basically. Right. So yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. The large size unit battle.
Yeah, we have Pavilion, Mont Kiara, we have Olivia, we have the Min, and also Mont Kiara. And Kiaramas the down.
Ooh. Okay. LB, which one first?
Pavilion, Mont Kiara. Regardless of anything. Because of the name. No lah, joke. Because of the area, like Cerny was there, Pavilion Hilltop was there. It's more towards like the sizes. Actually, when I look at it, the layout was quite alright. The launch price I feel is quite reasonable with the name of it and also the area. Others options like Kiaramas, like for me, Jalan Desa or Kiara 7 is a bit far from me. Comparing to this more towards center of it. Others is like Kiara 3, 7, 4. So I will choose Pavilion due to the location itself. Comparing to others for the road and the surrounding of it.
Okay. Larry?
All right. Between these 4 developments, contemplating between these two, Pavilion and also the Olivia, right? The Keramas part, I'm not really into that because of the low rental yield. Probably on stay is okay. For investment, the pavilion here is the size, the two smaller size is good, but I think it's sold out already. These two small size, most of it is big ones left, right? But I have more confidence in Jalan Kiara 4. So the Olivia. So the spec is really good. Partly furnished with the price of slightly below than 800 ringgit per square foot. Actually, the Safina, slightly older, is also 800 ringgit per square foot. So here you have slightly bigger in size, better in spec, also 800 ringgit per square foot, about to complete next year. So yeah, I think the rental, looking at from the rental point of view also is good. Mont Kiara opened the new access, right? It's also a bonus lah, because right now you have the access to Jalan Kiara 4, which is good. You can go to Jalan Kiara, right? Kiara 163. Now, instead of the Jalan Kiara 3, I believe if without the access of the Mont Kiara, though, the resident won't be using it much. But with that, they can go to Solaris much faster, easier. So it will still be exclusive because it will be a dead end for Olivia, right? And then, unless if it's being connected to the new access. But I believe Bond is only responsible on doing the access to Jalan Duta Kiara only, not the extension of this Olivia and Kiara 4. So yeah, you have the exclusivity, and then dual access. The rental is good, location is good. So yeah, Olivia.
William?
We're talking about own stay preference, right? Like which one we prefer to, do own stay.
Anything.
Anything?
Okay. If own stay, I personally like Mont Kiara more. I like their concept. As in, I might check out Sean's premiere video also lah on this, and I check out the site. Right, I like the clubhouse at the edge of it, and I think the concept is really nice lah. Right, Pavilion Mont Kiara is like, standard condo, nothing special. Kiara's the down also, and Olivia, I think I'll check out the showroom also. I think standard lah, nothing special about it. And also apa lagi one more.
Mean.
One more is what lah? Oh, Mean. Mean, I think it's too deep inside lah. It's too deep inside. It's not people. Probably for those who really want to enjoy the privacy, go like far away from the hustle and bustle of the city. But I think that's not for me yet, right? So I would say I will go for Mont Kiara first for the exciting linear features lah, like how they design the building, all that stuff, right? But investment, I think Pavilion Mont Kiara is actually quite interesting because the LV's mini point at 1,000 per square feet, I think that range, right? You got two branded names lah. My friend told me, right? You got Pavilion and Mont Kiara in one development name, right? So people are actually mostly sold about these two names together, right? Pavilion plus Mont Kiara. So it's like, wow, okay, I'm sold already. So I think investment-wise, in terms of rental, upcoming one, and probably selling price future later on, I think Pavilion Mont Kiara probably got the highest chance to have some gain on that. That's my point of view lah. So I think, Sean, how about you?
Own stay, I will choose me like just now, just because the entire concept, the entire theming of it. But if I were to really put my money, which is already almost in very close negotiation already, I will put in Mont Kiara, with a bet. So it's selling below median, but if it really do connect to Jalan Desa Kiara, then it's closer to Solaris. It's one straight road to Solaris. And you just think about traffic light, right? It's going to be a traffic light. Traffic light Jalan Kiara 3 is going to be very busy. But in that junction, it's only Tuai 2 and the Rumah Whip of Mont Kiara. What idea?
Kiara Kasih.
Kiara Kasih.
Kiara Kasih. So only the residents. So the access will be only sharing that. Then it's also walking distance to Jalan Kiara via the back way. So they use Jalan Kiara 3, walk in, still can reach all the international school. Like even if I will go Pavilion Mont Kiara, I cannot walk. Walk so far. By the time go to school, also wet already. Right? So I think at that price, there's a lot of room to grow, and for this particular developer also, I know interviewed before also, very genuine. Very genuine, unlike all the other big boys around, like what William said, all the big boys. Standard specs. All standard. But if you were to see Mont Kiara, it's very, very different. Yeah, so I would pick, if I would put my money like today, I would put in bond.
Okay, I have a controversial take. I would actually go for the down, right? So I would go for the down for a very simple reason. It has got a pool that no one else has.
Your pool. You with your pool.
So the reason why Ayuria did so well, and of all the properties, for example, at the top of the hill, right, whereby Ayuria is the one with the highest number of transactions, it is largely because of the pool. So the expatriates love, especially the one with kids, they love that pool. So my view here is that one, you've got a pool that no one else has, right? So I think there'll be a premium attached to it. Number two, also, they're also talking about building a direct access to Penchala Link from that road. So to get out from that area now, it's now 1 minute. If it were to happen,
not confirmed, not confirmed.
not confirmed yet. Not confirmed. But it's already part of the plan. It's already part of the plan. I don't know whether the approval has been granted or not. Apparently, the approval has been granted. I cannot recall, right? So the reason why I know this is because there's a developer which is talking to us at FarCap about a Malay Reserve development high-rise in that area. So nearby the Min, right? Whereby it's going to be priced roughly at about 600,000 ringgit for a 3-bedroom, right? So if that were to happen, and one of the key things that they are waiting for now before they can launch that is the access road. So for me, I'm going to go with the down simply because it has got a pool that no one else has. From a location point of view, so at 750 per square foot, it's quite okay. From a spec point of view, size point of view, it's actually quite proven, yeah, for that particular. So yeah, accessibility, and it has got a facility that no one else has. Price point is cheaper than many, right? So and you know, I quite like this side of Mont Kiara, which is a little bit more quiet, a lot of greens, bit more peaceful, right? Rental is not too bad. So yeah, I'm gonna go in the down. Right, but that one strictly for own stay. Investment wise, I so far don't believe in buying anything above 1 million ringgit in this area. As you guys know, I like to be the poorest person in any area, right? So yeah, for own stay, I go for the down. Investment, nothing, right? Because I cannot buy anything above 1 million. I cannot buy anything above median, right?
But just question, right, in that area, because it's also very hilly going up the 7. I was there filming like 3 times, and everyone there has a sports car. No joke, the traffic. Although it's less congestion, but everyone is like testing showing off their exhaust and things like that. That's what I heard. Like in Sunny also, when I was in Sunny standing there, the security guard want to chase me away. Then by checking out Pavilion Mont Kiara, also like on the way up, right, everybody just rev. And you can have the echo sound against each other, each building. Ooh. I don't know is it a legit thing or not, but I was there for a while only. I also cannot tahan it.
I
From
don't
a
know.
person who don't like cars.
I'm staying here, I'm staying in this area. I barely hear those things.
Yeah. So I don't know. So now I'm just trying to clarify this.
Yeah. I barely hear, except for maybe one guy with a Harley Davidson who likes to ram his bike at night. That's about it, right? Which is why I decided to buy a Ducati to join him.
Polluting the area with noise, Faizul.
Yeah, waking up babies, you see.
So you got a complaint ready after this.
Yeah.
And then we know who is the
Oh, itu boss I, itu boss I.
No lah, no lah, no lah. If at night I will just ride my scooter or I'll just walk. So I'm not that inconsiderate, unfortunately. I scared people curse me, you better die lah. You naik motor, you better die after this, So too many people curse me, they could end up getting it right, So yeah, better not lah.
Question.
Yo,
Any news about Twi 2?
don't know.
Hoardings are up, bro.
Was it?
Mm.
Well, this will be the good time to go and launch it. They were struggling with Twi 1.
No, Twi 1 did very well. I think we mentioned in the last episode. Twi 1 did extremely well, but got screwed by the main con. So to terminate the main con took a year just to terminate the main con. Then to find a new main contractor and to finish it, then they delay. That's why tak jadi like what was imagined.
No, I mean, it didn't do very well from a sales point of view because I think, where it took them about 3 to 4 years to fully sell everything. So it wasn't great lah. Basically, it wasn't great. Now I think things are a lot better from a sentiment point of view. If they actually open up the road properly, then yeah, I think it will do very well. It will do very well. It probably take less than a year to sell. If they're not too greedy, trying to price it at anything above, let's say, for example, 900 ringgit per square foot.
Already they're gonna ride the Mont Kiara punya access lah.
Yeah.
Also curious, just to add on the audiences, right? Just to add more complication to their life. I went and checked out Papyrus. I went and checked out Miranda. Wow, the show unit also very nice lah. It's very hard to walk out without putting a check. Yeah, so
you're talking about Miranda Hills.
Miranda Hills, because of the dual connectivity. So I thought it was a good team, but I'm very glad that the team actually picked up that thing. It's a very unique thing only in Mont Kiara.
Yeah.
Then Papyrus is selling very close to the neighboring Alex. But then the bigger units, there's a 5,500 square feet duplex. It's so good that agents take picture of the actual unit to advertise other projects. So the stack, they have 2 stacks of duplexes. I thought it was the hardest to sell, but it was the easiest to sell for the developer. So whatever that we spoke about, which is like the above 3,000, 4,000 square feet, all this kind of thing, huge demand. Huge demand.
Yeah. I think Mont Kiara is one of those markets where things are very different. Large size condos did better than small size condos. Right? So very clear.
Another one is in Wangsa Maju. I think Wangsa Maju also very clear. Like the 3-bedroom units one always go first compared to the studio unit.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this one all data cannot show lah, really.
I think it changes depending on the time, depending on the supply too, right? So I mean, the large units in Mont Kiara were struggling all the way from year 2008 all the way to 2000 and I think up until COVID. It was struggling for 10 years, doing very well today. Right?
Why aren't I older a bit?
Huh?
Why aren't I born earlier? I wouldn't miss Desa Park City. I wouldn't miss Eco Park. I wouldn't miss Mont Kiara.
I don't know. In a way, I was born in an era whereby I had the opportunity to look at Mont Kiara, but it wasn't as appealing. I think number one here, from a size point of view, it was not available at the size that I could afford. Number one. Number two, also, there were actually many areas that outperformed Mont Kiara in the last 10 years. Right? So for example, if you take a time of 2010 to 2020, I would say Bangsa South outperform Mont Kiara. Many parts of Damansara, from Utama to Jaya to normal PJ, actually outperform Mont Kiara, right? Only the last 4 or 5 years, I think, because there was an oversupply in those years, that caused developer to stop building. So other than UM, no one else were building anything, right? And they only build large size unit for upgraders. But they bought something in Mont Kiara. It was a very smart move for them, and they did very well. And today, the mix of tenant will be very different, because today you've got a lot more international profile buyers who are looking to use Mont Kiara as a own stay place, because it becomes such an international area, right? So and even the guys that I know of that bought Ayura at 300 ringgit, 350 ringgit per square foot, didn't continue to buy Mont Kiara. Right? So my ex-boss bought Ayura, didn't continue to buy, got mentor who owned multiple units here, also didn't continue to buy. Right? So they were stuck for quite some time. Then Desa Park City completely outperformed, right? Many other areas completely outperformed. Bukit Jalil outperformed Mont Kiara, right? So, at the end of the day, I think it's all about the property itself and the timing that you enter. Right. So for those who actually bought, I think the one of the best buys in Mont Kiara in the last 10 years would be, I guess, MK22. Right? 600 ringgit per square foot. Today now almost 1,000. Right? Almost 1,000. Right? So cool.
All the honkies that come in, 22, 22. Everybody only talks about 22. Wow.
I mean, it's the newest. It's also the most convenient, right? To walk to the new mall and all of that, right? So if Kiara 160 didn't happen, then MK22 will not be as well.
Yep. You're right.
Right? So if Aquarius and 163 didn't do as well from a commercial point of view, then MK22 will probably be just 700, 600-ish per square foot. Right? So it's that ability to have dual entrance, accessibility to both, and the fact that both commercials did so well is similar to how the Dutama site that was completely revived the moment BIG moved in. Publica was revived because of BIG.
Okay. I'm very friend, I'm buddy with the feng shui consultant.
Right.
that claimed he repaired the feng shui of Publica. So last time there was no sky, the transparent roof, there was no clear entrance. So after those are sorted out, only big came in.
Yeah. So well, as far as I can't believe in feng shui, right? So
yeah, so that's why I don't want to share. But also, another cool fact. Another cool fact, right? Solaris Mont Kiara. In front of the grocer, there's a fountain. It was dead. So now when they turn into a non-fountain, suddenly everything okay for the front row. From the back row is a valley. So those that face the valley all still dead. Yeah. So I had the solution to the treatments of the problem, and it worked across 5 to 8 years time. So yeah, I'm actually studying so I don't know. Nishan very anti-Far Capital because no data to show. But yeah, very interesting. This is the only part that I have not really get my hands into yet, feng shui.
My argument on feng shui is that I actually believe it. I believe in feng shui because feng shui is science. Right? So for example, it's quite logical. Don't buy facing sunset because your unit is going to be very hot. You're going to spend more money on city, right? So don't buy units, for example, facing what you call it, a T junction, right? Because number one, the light, the glass, potentially drunk, driving into your house. So all of that, in my opinion, makes sense.
Logic.
Right? So it's very logical to me. So I do believe in feng shui. And the thing about me here is that even if I don't believe in feng shui, I have to study feng shui because at the end of the day, I also want to have the possibility of exiting to someone who believes in feng shui.
Yes.
So there's no reason to buy something that give you any form of disadvantage.
Yep.
Unless it's dirt cheap.
Yep,
Right?
yep.
So for example, many of my units, I like to buy unit number 3 or number 9. I like to buy facing pool. Right? So I because number 8 for sure I have to compete with a bunch of people is gonna pay 20,000 for a stupid number, right? So I'm not. So I'm gonna buy number 3 or number 9. Right? So I do. And I always like to buy nearby pool. I like to buy low floor because water sound, well, from a feng shui point of view, I don't know what's the science, but for me it's very soothing. It's very calming. And if you buy low floor, you're also not subject to the highway noise or the road noise because it's blocked by your pool and you can only hear water. Right? So while I don't believe in feng shui from that, from the POV of a religion, I believe it from a science point of view. I believe it from an investment point of view. I believe that if your unit is feng shui, from a feng shui point of view, doesn't have a disadvantage, it has got a premium. Right? And I believe that your unit has got a disadvantage from a feng shui point of view, then it should come with a discount. Or the last time I bought a unit which is completely against feng shui, right? Facing west, facing main road, facing graveyard, right? I still made 100,000 profit because it was available at 20% cheaper compared to units which is not facing those things. Right? So for me, if you are talking about they change the signage or the entrance of Publica to something that makes sense, then to me it's science more than feng shui. Right? Because Publica is still bloody confusing. The guy who designed it should be shot. It's like completely bodoh. The car park until today, right? I've stayed in the area for 10 years, right? I couldn't access all of the car park until today. I still wonder, how do people go to B4? Right? Because I only know the entrance go to B6 and B7. Right? Which is so annoying, right? Which is stupid, right? So I believe, but for me, from a non-feng shui point of view, the turnaround for Dutamas was actually and Publica was BIG.
Yep, definitely.
Right? When they decided to bring those guys in, and then suddenly, a couple of cool cafes begin to pop up in Publica also, right? Then suddenly the whole area got revived. After years of dead, right? It was completely dead, right? So I thought it was actually very interesting. It went from like a place that no one wants to suddenly become the hottest area. The offices in Publica are still today at 900 to about 1,000 ringgit per square foot. No car park, very bad direction to go everywhere, very hard to find offices, no proper lobby for one, right? But yet, still did quite all right because of the location. That's what happened when the mall, Anyway, we're already close to 1 o'clock now.
Okay.
We are again not meeting our timeline. We haven't
3 hours already.
Yeah. So let's go. Finish the presentation, then go to Q&A, guys. Okay. So I'm gonna do a quick summary. So guys, Mont Kiara is unique. The 4 international schools within Mont Kiara and within the driving distance of Mont Kiara give it a massive advantage, especially for expatriate families, right? The other thing about Mont Kiara is very unique here is that it's a T20 area for multiple race and multiple nationalities. Just look at the food options. Okay. Became very clear now from a tier 1 point of view. Mont Kiara beat KLCC, beat Bukit Bintang in the last 10 years on both cash flow point of view and capital gain. Right? Most new launch properties that is completed today are selling at a higher price point, so that means people make money on capital gain, with exception for some properties in Jalan Kiara 3. But the rest of it, most of them, if you're talking about the launch in the last 10 years, most people made money, which is why you hear stories of people owning 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 properties in Mont Kiara, and they only buy Mont Kiara. Okay? So TTDI, for example, is just as expensive compared to Mont Kiara from a per square foot point of view, but the rental yield is much lower, which is why TTDI as of today is not yet a tier 1. Despite price point wise, some places are even more expensive than Mont Kiara proper, right? And the yield in Mont Kiara is 1% higher compared to KLCC because rental wise, if you can see, average per square foot is 3 ringgit 98 cents in Mont Kiara versus 401 in KLCC. So 3 cents cheaper compared to KLCC. But if you look from an average median point of view, you can buy Mont Kiara at 20% cheaper. So today we believe that Mont Kiara is the most livable area for expat families, right? Especially you got multiple international schools, you got pretty decent local schools too in Hartamas and Dutamas. So you got both sekolah menengah and sekolah rendah. So you got local schools, you got international schools too. So complete, right? And if you look at the restaurants today, like I said, you have good Japanese restaurant, you got good Korean restaurants, you got good Chinese hotpot, and of course Western, don't need to talk, right? So as the data from LB just now, even for Malay Reserve in Mont Kiara, Malay Reserve, because it's Mont Kiara today, is premium, right? Because when it comes to wealth, there's no such thing as race or religion. Money is money. Money is raceless, is religionless. Money respect money, right? So it doesn't matter whether it's Malay Reserve, non-Malay Reserve, Mont Kiara seems to be doing very well both fronts, both from a rental point of view and a capital gain point of view, right? And again, only in Mont Kiara, whereby dual access is so important because there's a lot of property that's not supposed to do well because it's part of Jalan Kiara 3, got saved because it was dual access with Jalan Kiara 5 or Jalan Kiara 4. Okay, so Mont Kiara is already quite well developed. Very few, very limited piece of land left in Mont Kiara, other Malay Reserve lands. So most of the new commercial development, which is non-Malay Reserve, will actually come from Dutamas Metropolis, KL Metropolis side. Okay, so in conclusion, we believe that looking at the new supply is pretty good mix of new primary market supply. You got a couple of development below 1,000 square foot, only 2. Then you got a couple of development that serve 1,000 to 1,005. You got a couple of development 1,005 to 2,000. Then you got 1 or 2 to 3 development that serve above 2,000 square foot. So from the looks of it, you know, pretty decent mix of new supply coming up. We don't think there's any oversupply which is coming up into this area. That's the conclusion for Mont Kiara as of today, right? Next slide, please. Okay, so you got opportunities in Mont Kiara. MRT3 will not be impactful for most property in Mont Kiara, but if you are buying property below 1 million ringgit in Mont Kiara, Hartamas or Dutamas, okay, MRT3 will have major impact. Okay, because MRT is useless for people who buy a 2 million ringgit property who drives BMW or Merc or Velfire, right? But for those who are buying a 600,000, 700,000, less than 1 million ringgit property, MRT3 will be key, right? To improve rentability. Not that the place is cheap from a rental point of view, but with MRT, rental will be even higher. Okay? We think there's going to be a proper international retirement housing complex, right? I think, you know, in the next 5 years, we are now talking, consulting a couple of developers, and we think that's probably one of the largest area of opportunity in Mont Kiara as of today. Okay, let's see who becomes the first, right? Retirement housing complex for elderly retiree. Because if Klang retirement punya studio apartment pun can ask for RM5,000 satu bulan for a studio, can you imagine the price point in Mont Kiara? Right? So confinement kat tempat lain 9 to 12,000, in Mont Kiara is 30,000. Right? So again, Mont Kiara price point is a bit different. And we think there will be opportunities for developers to develop Malay Reserve affordable luxury condo. So luxury spec, but at slightly more affordable price point because Malay Reserve land are cheap. Very cheap compared to a non-Malay Reserve land. Okay, so we think these are going to be the 3 opportunities available in the Mont Kiara area. Next slide, please. Okay. So, couple of gossips and predictions, right? For Mont Kiara. Next slide. Okay. Mont Kiara used to lack two things. We have a lot of malls and whatnot, right? So we've got pretty decent commercial and all that. So we've got almost everything, except for cinema back then. So today 163 has got a small cinema. So what is now lacking in Mont Kiara to make it complete is basically a healthcare wellness center, right? So I know there's a development looking to build a healthcare and wellness center in the area, waiting for license to be approved. If that were to happen, the demand for the area would be even better. Okay. Number two, is Sunway coming to build a new mall here? Because if they do, then I think again, things are gonna get even better for Mont Kiara. It becomes even more livable than it is today. Okay. Number three, because there's lack of open land available, right, and which is now being hoarded by all the larger developers, which I don't think looking to sell anyway or do JV. So I think more and more Malay reserve development that will be built in this area in the next 3 to 5 years. We're already talking to 2 for now, right? So because FACAP has got 30,000 members and about 70% are Bumiputra, and so a lot of developers are actually coming to us to talk, right? And we know there's minimum 2 in the next 3 to 5 years. Okay. We'll see the first Malay reserve subsale above 1,000 ringgit per square foot, I think, in the country, coming from Mont Kiara. I suspect it's going to come from Serim Mont Kiara, right? And again, last but not least, I think we'll have the first luxury international retirement village in Mont Kiara, right, at above 1,000 ringgit per square foot. So these are a couple of things that I think that will happen in Mont Kiara in the next 5 years, right? Other than what is a sure thing, like the MRT3, right? So yeah, last bit is a disclaimer, right? We are a little bit vested in the area. I wouldn't say a little bit lah. We're quite vested in the area, right? So before COVID, we bought this development called Oak, and we bought it roughly at about 800 plus per square foot, right? On top of 163, right? So originally the development does not have a rooftop pool, and the developer asked me what are the things that they can do in order to make far capital clients looking to buy a property there. So I said I want at below a certain price point, I want dual key layout, and I wanted a rooftop pool with a rooftop gym. They decided to build one after 1 year, and we end up buying all the dual key units at roughly about 750,000 and below. So as you can see today, rental for those units are actually quite high. Today is the highest in Mont Kiara from a per square foot point of view, about 6 ringgit, right? And today, alhamdulillah, our clients are getting above 8% rental yield, right? So Sean, you got 1 or 2, Sean? Oh,
Satu je.
oh, satu je. Okay.
Satu je.
Right. Sean also did very well. Latest unit is currently being asked at about 7,000 for a 816 square foot. Right. I know because I own a couple. Right. So 7,000. So if that were to happen, that means the rental per square foot will actually cross 8 ringgit per square foot. It will be the first in Mont Kiara. So again, when you own something, you need access to good commercial, dual accessibility, rooftop pool overlooking KLCC skyline, right? So you tend to get the best rental possible, right? And like I said, we don't like to buy anything too expensive. We want to buy things below 1 million ringgit because the median in this area is below 1 million. So we bought that in proper Mont Kiara, and today our clients are very happy, 150 units. And then our next largest space is going to be Duta Mas, right? So this is basically just 600 ringgit per square foot, which we believe that at this price point, which is again below median, because median in Duta Mas, if you watch the Segambut Battle Royale, is almost 900 ringgit per square foot. So at 600 ringgit per square foot, I think we've got a 50% upside, and most likely will outperform anything that you can buy in Mont Kiara today. I don't think any of the new launch in Mont Kiara will be able to have a 50, it's not available at 50% below median. So therefore, it's very hard to have a 50% upside, lah, right? So that's basically, what we are buying today, either in this area or in neighboring areas. Okay. So next slide before we go to Q&A. So guys, if you like to participate in our next purchase, right? Please do join our WhatsApp channel, right? Please do join our WhatsApp channel, right? Whereby today we are buying a property that will give more than 7% rental yield in Mont Kiara Dutamas area. Number one. Number two, potentially looking at buying a 600,000 property for a 3-bedroom in this area. So like I said, we're advising a couple of developers on their new launch in Mont Kiara proper, not North Kiara, not Segambut side, proper Mont Kiara. And obviously, we are looking to buy the cheapest property ever built nearby LRT station, which is just 30 minutes to KLCC at below 240,000. So if such deals are attractive to you, do join our WhatsApp channel. So with that, I think we can end our presentation and I think we can move to the Q&A. Okay lah, not so bad. We only have 25 questions for tonight.
Okay, let's go to the first question. Okay, from Eric Wong, Mont Kiara still got so many green reserve land that are undeveloped. Will this be developed one day, which potentially may flood the market?
I think it become very clear, right, that the green Malay reserve land is Malay reserve lah, right? There's only one Bumi Putra developer which is doing Malay reserve land, and their track record is to launch one property every 4 or 5 years. So, and they don't do any high rise in Mont Kiara because they really believe in the luxury high end targeting the ultra rich Malays, right? So for example, there's a running joke in the GLC belongs to the government, right? That if you want to cripple, right, the GLCs in Malaysia, just go and send a bomb to Serin Mont Kiara or Serin Kiara, where most of the CEOs of the Malay CEOs are basically staying there. So it's a bit of a dark joke, but I believe there's an element of truth, lah, right? So very limited, pretty exclusive. A couple of celebrities also stay there. But looking at the track record, I don't think, we're going to see the first high rise most likely in the next 12 months, right? Most likely this also will be a far capital exclusive because there's no other larger, buying group than us in Malaysia, right? So I don't think there's going to be floods.
Okay, all right. So next question, from Peter Wong. So will Medini area be the next Mont Kiara in Johor since that area have some prestigious international schools?
I don't think so, right? If I look, I love Medini. Like of all the tier 1 areas in Johor, I love Medini the most, right? I think it's the most undervalued too, but I don't think so, right? Mont Kiara has already got the population back then, 20 or 30 years. You've got a lot of wealthy neighboring population, right? Which Medini does not have, right? So Medini's story is Singapore. So if you got 100,000 Singaporeans looking to retire in Medini, yes, then it makes sense, right? Otherwise, no. And look, if there's 100,000 retirees retiring in Medini from Singapore, then Medini will be much better than Mont Kiara, bro. Medini will be 1,500, 2,000 per square foot. Which is why we quite love Medini. And of course, of all the tier 1s in Johor, where people are happily paying 700 ringgit per square foot, we pay 350 to go buy something in Medini. So again, we love the idea of becoming a bargain hunter. Yeah, but I don't think Medini will become Mont Kiara anytime soon.
Okay, all right. So Efra, actually, I have a question. Do you want to answer all the question or allow the panelists to pick a question for tonight?
I think let's do that. Heng, you can pick up maybe
One, don't need so many lah.
Huh?
I thought I just chill today. Yay! Have our answer everything. Yay!
A lot of people want to hear your voice and your point of view, so don't disappoint people. Betul tak, guys? Send some love to him, guys, if what I say is correct.
Betul.
So I'm thinking like William can take 2, Zairi can take 2, LB can take 2, then I can take 2 lah.
Okay, then. All right. So next question. Hold on. Let me. Okay. Because Zairi. Okay, this one is from Haikal Nazari. Zairi choose this question. Can share generally the comparison between Mont Kiara and Dutamas, advantage and disadvantage of each area?
Okay. Yeah, actually I choose for everyone. Okay. Mont Kiara and Dutamas. My point of view is that Mont Kiara is matured already. Everything is there already. You can see the rental and price is established already. Amenities is there. Dutamas is under a new mega development. Comparison wise, the development there is still a few. It's not as much as Mont Kiara. So you don't really have a high assurance that you're gonna get the rental yield as per what you have in Mont Kiara lah. But however, the pros of Dutamas, I think it will be a new hit lah. So Mont Kiara as it is, other than the part of Jalan Kiara there, which is vibrant. Now we have the mega development in Dutamas. A lot of offices gonna have probably a mall or what. So it's a new area. I would think it will be more potentially will be more vibrant than Mont Kiara lah. But you have to give a bit of time. So you have a future lah. So for investment, it's really good because currently the price in Dutamas is probably slightly cheaper than Mont Kiara.
My take here is that it really depends on price point, right? And let's say at 750 per square foot, would I buy Dutamas or buy Mont Kiara or buy Mont Kiara? Right? Because the more established one, right? It's more proven, right? But at 600 ringgit per square foot, I buy Dutamas, which is what we are doing as of today. The other problem here is that if you look at Mont Kiara's layout net selling price, it's just very hard to find anything other than Arte, right? Which is below 1 million. I think tak ada pun kot. I think there's no development, like really zero, right? Mont Kiara, because everyone is gunning for big size units. So Dutamas, you still can find friendly sizes, like beginning, you're either fresh grad or you're a young couple or young family. Dutamas is friendlier to you. So Mont Kiara is the more established. You are like late 30s, mid 40s, looking to buy a 2-3 million, final home, right? Before and you're looking to stay there because of status. So from status point of view, Mont Kiara is still much higher compared to Dutamas. So Dutamas is the wannabe, right? So Mont Kiara is the OG, right? Right. So Dutamas is gonna be the wannabe. Hartamas, and Mont Kiara is the OG. So at the same price point, same size, in a way, you'd be an idiot to go buy Dutamas lah. If you can buy a 3-bedroom Mont Kiara for 600,000 versus a 3-bedroom in Dutamas for also 600,000, better buy Mont Kiara. It's more proven. Again, apple to apple, everything is the same lah. But if you're talking about rumah whip spec selling for 600,000 Mont Kiara versus a proper condo in Dutamas, right, with multiple pools, 600,000 also, 3-bedroom, then I'll go for Dutamas. Right? So I think I answered Surindran also, which one is a better investment property for future, Mont Kiara or Dutamas. So because these two are different areas, Dutamas currently building properties for beginners. Wannabes want to enter the area. The developers in Mont Kiara not building anything for wannabes, except for developer that work with FACAP. Because only FACAP cares about the wannabes, people who are trying to enter Mont Kiara. So which is why we're talking to a developer, don't sell anything above 600,000. So quite strict lah. So at the right price point, both will make money, really, right? From an infrastructure point of view, Dutamas will be even better because they've got MRT coming up for sure, right? You've got the most of the new jobs are going to be created. It's all going to be in Dutamas. So investment of infrastructure is also expected to be higher at Dutamas side. So Dutamas will be new. Mont Kiara will be the established player. Now, last time Hartamas was the OG, Mont Kiara was the pretender. So today, Mont Kiara is the OG, right? So I don't know whether Dutamas will ever be able to go and compete to Mont Kiara. But like I said, if you buy the 20 or 30% premium Dutamas, I think you're fine. You're going to be fine. So I answered Surendran question tu sekali dengan Haikal.
Okay, all right. So next question from Linda Zain. Is there any plan to relocate the squatters?
Not squatters lah.
Yeah.
Zairi cakap squatter. Nanti Zairi.
Yeah, so this one is after several conversations with developers around that area. So like people that bought Pentamon, people like Mont Kiara, people. So I got more conversation with developer on the side. So everybody is trying to relocate them. But it's just that the concern is still price to entry and versus the efforts to get them out. Because if you mismanage, it becomes a political issue. But it depends on what's the incentive lah. And it has been proven again that things can happen. Like Miranda Hill happened, Mont Kiara happened, Trinity, Pentamon happened. It's not impossible. It's just about time versus effort versus return. So now you see all smaller developers are taking that risk. Big developers are staying away. That's what I noticed. Because the entire process is just too tedious. And when you get a big player to put their brand onto something so sensitive politically, like personally, I got burned. My video went 1 million view and I need to delete it because of the word squatter and illegal. Yeah. So is there any plan? Definitely, because it's economical driven. So like the solution to that will be the Malay reserve developers. I think that's a whole different segment, which is very, very interesting. I wanted to ask also just now, like when you all go and see Serene, I made appointment to view. They didn't entertain me. like why? Like why would you want to go and see architecture and don't waste my time, please? Yeah. So and also like the TTDI also got one, the Kampung Sungai Penchala got the Rencana, the Malay Reserve Development also. So that one shares similar potential if they were the one, if one ever to come out in Mont Kiara. So I'm also looking forward, although I cannot unless I set up a movie company lah, which is weird. Yeah. So is there any plans? Definitely. Everybody's eyeing on this land now. Done.
Next.
All right. So
Next.
next from Tian Yao Lim. Is Mont Kiara getting older and will it lose its competitiveness to Dutamas? For investment purpose, where should one invest in?
I think I've answered that already.
will take this.
Oh.
Yeah. But I just want to highlight a few things lah. So it's one of those, a few stigmas that is associated with density and old apartment condos. So everyone keeps thinking that, wow, this property so high density, this area so high density. If that theory is correct, if the density brings negativity, Mont Kiara would be the first location to die. Bangsa South second, KL Central third. But what people don't see is the design and the infrastructure and the township planning of them. Yeah, so I think that's something that a lot of property investors needs to first understand, that density doesn't mean bad. Old apartments doesn't necessarily mean abandoned. It's just a story that your inexperienced parents tell you lah. Oops. Yeah, I just want to use that. I just want to use Mont Kiara as a very unique unicorn to study from an architectural and infrastructure planning point of view lah.
My short take to this is, again, Mont Kiara is unique, right? Mont Kiara is unique. And the reason why it's unique is because of the school. It's just very hard to replicate what Mont Kiara has elsewhere. It's just similar to the question, will Desa Park City loses its appeal when it becomes older? But how many land bank in KL that you know of that is available today of that size, whereby you can really copy and build another Desa Park City? Tidak ada, guys. Zero. Nil. Kalau ada, dah lama dah orang buat. Right? So Mont Kiara got lucky because it got transformed from a sleepy retirement home to become an expat enclave because of the availability of international schools. But to set up an international school, that kind of land, that kind of size, and then you need a prestigious school, it's not easy, lah, guys. Right? It's not easy.
And also, if you pay attention to maps, if you look into maps like I do every day, right? Main highways, like in one Mont Kiara, can go to like 6 highways. I think it's crazy, right? The connectivity level of Mont Kiara. And it's only this, okay? So you look far away, you just highlight highways, right? The intersection of all highways is the very interesting part. And the intersections all happen in this place called Mont Kiara. But do I call it luck? But luck, I don't know lah. But why all highways must go through that?
I can say it's purely by luck because of the location. Because otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Because Mont Kiara is not a poor person area that requires help from an infrastructure point of view. Right? Which is why it's the last area to get any MRT. Because, why help, area where average property price point above 1 million, right? With MRT connectivity. But no choice. Because it's going to be in the way.
The only not so lucky part is when Desa Park City and Mont Kiara technically connect one. If world is flat. If world is flat lah. So it just by that bukit only, it just so happened, right? If that bukit really went through, wow, I think Mont Kiara explode further.
Yeah. So there's a road currently which is supposed to connect Desa Park City and then Mont Kiara. I think it's via Country Heights, right? And Country Heights has been wanting to open that road for the longest time lah.
But he opened then not as exclusive really on their houses there.
I think they've got the motivation to increase property value because it's lagging behind Mont Kiara or Desa Park City. Despite supposed to be the Beverly Hills, right? On top of the hill.
Right. Yeah, so a lot of story. You see, Mont Kiara story, tak habis-habis kan? Tak habis-habis. I guess that's why a lot of people love it.
So when the wellness and the healthcare so-called hub being built in Mont Kiara, then I think, like I said, it's going to be a new set of transformation again.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So next question from Kum Kayan. Can you share your opinion on KL Metropolis, whether still good to invest since it's so near to Mont Kiara?
I think we've covered that already, right? It's part of Dutamas, right? So again, at what price point? I think anything above 750 per square foot, right? And let's say, for example, above 1 million ringgit net price, 750 per square foot and 1 million ringgit net price, I buy Mont Kiara proper. Anything below, you can consider buying into Dutamas because such supply doesn't exist in Mont Kiara today. So again, Dutamas Metropolis is catering to the wannabes who can't afford to go buy something proper in Mont Kiara, but want to stay nearby enough.
Right. Next question. Jun Hao Teo. Is development for Y&H Solar Star still ongoing and complete in time? Because every time I pass by it doesn't seem moving, especially when their stock got hit and are desperately selling their plot of lands and cash flow. Is it cash flow? Is cash cow? 163 Mall. Cash cow. Okay. Cash cow 163 Mall.
Huh? Really? It doesn't seem moving?
No. That is false. I just flew drone over it last Thursday.
Are you checking the right project, Junhao? The
Yeah.
Mont Kiara side got a lot of abandoned project. That one I agree. But if you are saying there's no movement in Selasta, I don't think you are right at all. They have top four now. I think second and third block is currently ongoing too.
Yep.
Right? Mall Sunway is buying for 214 million, right? And Sunway is buying another plot of land, right? So, and they've got easily 10 other pieces of tier 1 area land that they can sell. So yeah, I think development is ongoing, pretty decent, pretty fast. It's now 40th story already.
Okay. A question from Eds. Rental yield of 8% at the Oak is based on Airbnb or long-term tenants. What is your view on Oak Suites?
This one it's from an owner. It's long term.
Long term, bro.
Long term.
Kita tak main Airbnb bila kita cakap 6 to 8% tu. So you know how it works in Battle Royale. We don't use Airbnb as a benchmark.
Yeah, if Airbnb everything can buy.
Yeah lah. Airbnb everything below 10% the Airbnb is shit. So let me just clarify. If you are doing Airbnb, anything below 10% is crap. It's shit. You better don't touch it. You should only touch Airbnb if you can get above 10%. All right, so we're talking about long-term rental.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, so now I thought I rent out at that rate is high already at that time. And you also were surprised for at my rate, but now the rates are even higher. Oh. But too bad, but what you say is true. Like on the MRT side, if MRT were to come, I think it would drop a little bit during construction.
I mean, it's gonna be at the back, right? So it's where the entrance of Oak is. So yeah, it's gonna affect a little bit lah. But it's supposed to be underground.
Yeah, but then all the trucks there, all the piling there, all the
Yeah. So the rental for MK22 will also drop. Aquaris will also drop also lah. So basically, there's a lot of property that will be affected by the MRT. So it's almost ironic that we probably don't want MRT.
Yeah, we want to go set petition like TDPI like that.
But no lah, I'm under the view that anyone who stop progress is it's not very bright lah. So I'm willing to suffer for a few years, for the greater good lah.
So, but something very cool to share. Like when I speak to China buyers, right? They know there's a proper term. There's a Mandarin name for Mont Kiara one. Like Street Petaling is a 大城堡. Then for Mont Kiara is 满家乐. Then when I spoke to Chinese buyers, do you know where 满家乐, like, where the is that? Like, then you Malaysia, you don't know where is Mont Kiara. But in other places like PJ will be PJ, Shalam will be Shalam. But Mont Kiara has a proper Mandarin name. That shows just how popular the address is within their market.
Like I say lah, the emergence of hot pots, Mala hot pots is just crazy.
No halal one, Mala hot pot. What?
I'm not aware if there's any. If you look at Hartamas 163, all the way to Solaris Mont Kiara, all the way to Solaris Tamas, I think there's easily 30 new hot stores that has been opened the last 3 years. It's crazy.
Maybe there's opportunity for a Muslim friendly one.
But so here's the thing, right? You know Hai Di Lao, right? Which is the most popular, right?
Yeah.
The Indonesian Hai Di Lao is halal. Yeah. The Indonesian Hai Di Lao is halal. The Malaysia one is haram. Jibaka.
Yeah, I eat with you in Indon.
Come.
Very sad. Come next.
Okay, next from Muhammad Amin. Will there a dedicated space for the public similar to Central Park in New York or Hyde Park in London in MK area or the nearby location? Over time, a park like those can significantly boost property values, much like KLCC Park besides the towers.
Tak ada. You've got one newly open opposite of the Istana Negara, right? It's in Hartamas. So that one is actually quite nice, right? And then you've got that forest reserve, which is not supposed to be touched, which links Mont Kiara to Taman Tun. So you don't have a taman, but you have a proper jungle for you to hike. Just be careful, because I got a couple of friends who went to a hike there and then got lost for a couple of hours. It's an actual jungle. Yeah.
But it's good to have the park for the family, because Mont Kiara, I think that's the
I don't
missing
know.
piece.
I think TTDI has got a few parks already, and TTDI does not have the same rental yield as per Mont Kiara, or rental value as per Mont
Bonus for Mont Kiara if they have it. But I don't see it happening. There's no government that doesn't have any land there.
It's not
More
tak
private
ada lah.
land.
I think tak mungkin ada. Will never happen lah.
Yeah. The land is too valuable, unless it belongs to the government. And to my knowledge, there's no such thing as a government land in Mont Kiara.
Impossible lah. Okay lah. So let's say if there is one piece of land and you are the owner, do you want it to turn it into a park? Siao meh. Right? Crazy. So it's very ideologically speaking lah, right? This one like you got New York. You think New York don't want to build that, man? I think all developers are trying to acquire that land. It just takes one policy anymore. Imagine if there's no Malay reserve land in Mont Kiara. I think no forest reserve really also.
Betul? It's true.
Right?
It's true. Yep.
That's so when I study land law, that's the first. Why is Malay reserve land a thing in Malaysia? If not, all land kena sold already.
True.
So yeah. Ideal lah, but tak logic lah.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, that is the last question that picked up by the panelists.
Oh.
So yeah, we have I can see in the Q&A from Amanda and in the chat also. That's it.
I don't know, interesting. There's this Madani compliance thing that is happening for projects under TPKL. So now it's crazy for projects that is building, for example, in Selangor, 50% compliance for Bumi. Then construction cost has increased about 30 to 38% year on year. Then there has been restrictions, like now in Madani, you need to provide food court to be surrendered back to the local authorities. Then a lot more lah. So when I speak to people in Reda, people telling me that now smaller developers all cannot play already. They might as well just keep the money in the bank and they generate better rates from FD. That's how low their profit margin is right now. The only reason why big players can survive is because they bought the land 10, 20 years ago. If you were to buy now and build, yeah. So I think like for the new client that's speaking to you all, I think the compliance is actually very, very strict lah.
All more reason why property buran will be accelerated lah.
Happen.
Right? So you guys have to understand one thing, I guess. Every time a government has got noble intention, right, it comes at a cost. The question is that who pays the cost, right? So surrender food court, noble intention. Affordable housing, noble intention. But the government is not paying for this cost. the cost has to come from somewhere. It normally comes from the private developers. So the result here is that to meet with all of these compliance costs, they have to sell at a higher price point, right? So the larger the compliance costs, the larger the price point that they have to go and sell your regular product, right? So I don't know when is this Madani bid is going to be gazetted. I think it will be severely challenged by the property developers. I
think
don't know.
it happened already.
Oh, happened already.
The Sekambut project, Tuan Heritage, there's a food court downstairs.
Okay.
And for that very limited piece of land, must have a food court. And last time we got all the kindergarten that nobody operates, all the compliance space that nobody use one. Then all just build underground. All build underground, then most probably they're gonna lock it and just surrender. Bit sad though, a bit sad. Intention is like you say, intention is correct. Intention is noble. But that's why the product, the you need high density, you need small units, you need compact type, you need
So guys, you see it now, the price of construction has gone up. Compliance cost has also gone up, which is why you see new properties today, it's being priced at a higher price point. If you can find one at 500, 600 ringgit per square foot, normally from a spec point of view, it's a lot lower compared to the 500 ringgit per square foot that you can find 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Way lower, just to keep it affordable. Right? So this idea of property price continues to go up is something that is not a problem that has been solved in the last 100 years. So you can either complain about it or you can do something about it lah. For us, we'd rather go and do something about it lah. Don't hate the game, play the game.
I had an interesting talk. That day I had an interesting talk about this. It's not that the value of property goes up, but it's the value of money going down.
Inflation in a way.
Yeah. Just by like for 1,000 square feet 5 years ago and 1,000 square feet today, right? Technically, they didn't make money. You plus all the interest, they didn't make money, but to get into the market it just got harder.
Yep.
Then with all the quantitative easing, which is money printing, it's just to protect old people's money. So you cannot let the old owners who buy property lose money anymore. So it's because the rich control the country control finance control to protect them lah. So yeah lah. This talk was about like 32 minutes I did. Then the whole audience all want to cry. Yeah.
So you can argue that whatever that, let's say for example, cost 600 ringgit per square foot or 500 ringgit per square foot to be built, let's say 10 years ago, the cost today is easily double. Right? It's easily double. Which is why I'm always under the view that the best property you can buy today are your property that was actually launched pre-COVID and had pre-COVID price point. Right? So it's pre-COVID price point, pre-COVID spec. Those are the best things you can buy today. Right? Because like the one in PJ, for example, the one that we are buying at 550 per square foot, I think if you want to build today something like that in PJ, 1,000 easily, 1,000, nothing lower, no way. Right? The Dutamas one that we bought for 600 ringgit per square foot, it was planned pre-COVID, only launched post-COVID. Right? If this were today, No way they can do it below 750 and ringgit per square foot. Yeah. So guys, we are at a very interesting times of at the beginning of the coming property bull run. There's multiple pressures. You got price pressure, you got supply pressure, you got compliance pressure. Right? And as interest rate goes down, globally, I think it will also put more pressure towards a good kind of pressure towards property because there will be higher demand on property globally, as to lower interest rates. So interesting times. I think we are on track. If I were in your shoes, buy as many as possible, I guess.
In the right location. Wow, that one very.
I mean, I hope so lah. If you're watching Battle Royale for 4 hours, it's still the wrong property. I don't know what you are watching lah. But I just go and watch. The P-Hub
Aiyo. This one I do YouTube. People, you say buy money, I buy. No, I didn't say buy at what price. Walao. Then people buta buy.
Aye. That's
Okay.
The curse of property influencers.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. As usual, we fail to meet our targeted time. Because not too many interesting conversations, including the whole history of Mont Kiara, which developer does what. The whole gossip all came out today lah. So again, I want to thank the panelists, Sean, William, LB, Zairi, for providing a lot of value to you guys tonight. I hope you guys got a lot of value, coming from this. Our next session, should we announce our next session or not yet? Better not, LB berpeluh already. Okay. Our next session will most likely be tier 1 too, right? So it will be something of an old favorite. So, and of course, if anyone want to find out how to become a client, please do join our Sunday session next Sunday, 10 o'clock. All right. So with that, I wish everyone a good night. Have a good week ahead. Assalamualaikum and good evening. Bye, everyone.
Bye.